It's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. A new week, new season and a new school year as Parliament prepares to resume.
With the government choosing to start the year off with a new pledge to crack down on Britain's broken borders.
But after a summer of protests and uproar over asylum hotels, has the government's delayed response proven that its priorities are elsewhere?
Party conference season begins with a bang. Some of Reform UK's biggest names look ahead to their event in Birmingham later this week.
Well, the new school term begins, but after the Education Secretary admitted working-class pupils have been resolutely failed, is the government failing a generation of blue-collar pupils? We'll debate that at 7:20.
A shocking revelation about Queen Camilla as a new book claims the royal fought off a sexual assault as a teenager. We'll be getting the details in full this morning.
Now, do you get wound up by pavement paking, or even pavement parking? Actually, if it does wind you up and you can speak this morning, turns out you're not alone, as 4 in 5 people admit they hate the practice. Is it time for an all-out ban?
James Bulger's killer, John Venables, could be freed from prison within months after being granted a new parole bid.
Don't make unnecessary journeys. Don't take risks on treacherous roads. And don't swim in the sea.
And watch out for the storm. The new list of storm names sees some unexpected entries, including Vubo and Taig. We'll bring the list very shortly.
And in sport this morning, a brilliant 35-yard Dominic Szoboszlai free kick sees Liverpool beat Arsenal at Anfield. Eyebrow-raising results. That's how my eyebrows were all yesterday in the Premier League yesterday. And lots of deals to be done as the transfer window shuts this evening at 7 o'clock.
Good morning. It's the first day of autumn today and the weather certainly feels like it's out there. Actually, for some of us, it's a very wet start for Monday morning. Find out where with me a little later.
Just got 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon, I think.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast. Pavement is going to be my new...
Pavement parking.
Pavement.
Parking.
Are you perking on the pavement?
I've parked on the pavement many times myself. Have your part on the pavement.
I think it sounds so much better.
It does sound... Well, it does sound better. Welcome to Monday morning. Tell I don't normally do Mondays. Blimey neck. I've been off sick all weekend, you know.
Have you?
I've been rotten.
I wonder where you were.
And I'm blaming that on my inability to speak this morning.
Oh.
I'm feeling much better.
You know what makes you ill, don't you?
What's that?
That's the pavement parking. It's pavement half It always makes you under the weather.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. I was going to tell you about...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was out of order.
A bit of an old Cash in the Attic thing. Because do you ever watch all that?
Yeah.
Tripe on telly, and you think, oh, I wonder if I've got anything. Yeah. Turns out there's a 1978 Luke Walker. Luke Sky.
Pavement Luke Walker. Luke Pavement Pagan.
Luke Skywalker.
Yes, that's a
model. Still in its packaging.
You've got it?
No.
Oh,
But I won't put it past him.
Do you remember how they had little extending lightsabers?
Yes, yeah.
Well, this was the first one that came out, and it had a double extender.
Oh, is it?
Double extender, and it's still in its packaging, brand new.
Yeah.
Just sold for £100,000.
That's unbelievable.
Very nice too.
So,
That's unbelievable.
if you've got a double extending Luke Skywalker,
yes,
and it's still in its box.
I'm surprised that you don't have a double extending Luke Skywalker
I don't.
still in its box.
Have you got the Princess Di Beanie Baby then?
No, I haven't.
I'm still waiting for that one to come.
I tell you what I have got, which is an E.T. soap, an Avon E.T. soap.
On a rope?
Oh, no.
Soap
on a rope?
Which is
Love soap on a rope.
Which is still in its box.
Really?
And that must be from like 82, 83.
Why do you have that?
Well, because Mum bought it for me.
And you thought, I'm not cleaning myself with an E.T. finger.
I kept it.
Yes.
I kept it. So, is that worth anything?
I think it probably is.
I think you should take it on...
Original.
Cash in the Attic.
Should I go on Cash in the Attic with my soap?
Or Antiques Roadshow?
I think Antiques Roadshow is for that one.
Yeah. Oh, I might take my teeth in and get a new pair.
Oh, no.
So I can speak properly.
I think it's a very good idea. Anyway, I'm glad you're back and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah. Oh, it's all going very well.
I'm quite enjoying this, whatever's happened during the weekend.
I think it's the painkillers are still...
He's delirious. He's been in bed all weekend. First words he's spoken in about 72 hours.
I went to bed after I left you on Friday and I got out of bed to come in this morning.
Oh.
It's literally been it.
Bless you. You OK, though? You all right? You feeling...
Clearly not.
OK. Well, bless you. We'll look after.
Clearly not.
Welcome back.
There, here we go. Right, summary's over. That's cheery news for you. Parliament returns today from recess and it is going to be a busy week in Westminster.
Yes. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, is set to launch a new plan for change in order to overhaul the asylum system and stop the use of migrant hotels by the end of 2029.
Well, the changes include migrants being required to prove they have enough money before family members join them in Britain, as well as tighter rules on English language requirements before they can bring people over as well.
Well, let's find out more with former Conservative advisor Lauren McKevitt, who joins us this morning. Morning to you, Lauren.
Good morning.
What do you make of these plans?
I'm also against pavement parking.
Oh, good.
That's good.
No, we haven't had the plans quite yet. They are obviously going to be announced in the Chamber, I think, today. So what we have is the sort of the preamble, the pre-game. We don't actually know how much of that will have been accurate reporting versus some fairly inaccurate leaking. The Treasury has been in trouble for this over the course of the last 24 hours. It would appear all those taxation kites that have been flown over the course of the last 3 weeks have been mostly bunkum.
Right.
And they're denying everything.
Was that because they weren't very popular?
all went down like a bucket of cold soak. So, yeah, I do think... no, sorry, shouldn't have mentioned that.
This weekend.
I don't think that we will have had the full brief of what Yvette Cooper will say this morning, but I do think it's interesting that they're going after the funds issue and the English language issue. There is a difference, as my understanding goes, between people who are here and claiming asylum and their requirement to declare funds to be able to undertake family reunion if their family subsequently comes to the UK. There is a difference, as I understand, between that and regular routes of migration where you bring a spouse, and they are going to, I think, merge those two streams of consciousness. Now, my concern with that is, yes, I understand the inclination towards massively reducing the number of people who are bringing family members here, having claimed asylum here to begin with. But by shutting off
a route to get them here legally, I think you're just going to push more people into dinghies on the North France coast. Because if you suddenly can't prove funds here, but you still want to come, that doesn't actually remove a deterrent. There's no deterrent there.
Well, no, maybe not. But then, would it really force them onto boats in the sense that they haven't tried to come over? I mean, it's only a single family member comes over, and then says, "Oh, well, now that we're over, we'll get you in."
We have very little way of knowing, I think, how...
We're so out of sync with the rest of Europe, even the rest of Europe on this.
It's so hard to tell whether or not putting in a requirement for funds is going to stop the flow of people bringing family members into the country. The English language requirement, I think, is excellent. I think we should have had that. We should have had that years ago.
Help with integration.
Massively help with integration. As long as it's a high bar, it should be a high bar. You know, in terms of the Life in the UK test, you sort of want everybody to be able to tell you the second line of every famous poem to come out of England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales over the course of the last 400 years. You want it to be a high threshold to entry. I think the English language test has not been as high a threshold to entry so far. Obviously, someone who comes from a Welsh political background, I'm hoping that there is an equivalent Welsh one, because if you choose to move to Wales and conduct yourself in the Welsh language, you should not be penalised for doing so. Similarly, there's 250,000 Patagonians, about 3,000 of whom speak Welsh and Spanish and no English, and they shouldn't be discriminated against, but that's a fairly niche subject area of interest for me. I'm willing to admit that. But I do think that there are some good things she's going to announce today. Whether or not they work, you know, at this point, we're sort of flinging things at the wall when it comes to immigration and seeing what works. Basically, until we leave the ECHR, until we get ourselves out of the pickle we've gotten ourselves into on family reunions and right to family life, we are going to continue to have trouble with the courts on every single semi-special case that goes through the system. And I don't know that this is enough when you consider that the ECHR is not being left. But more and more Labour politicians popping up and saying that they're in favour of leaving. David Blunkett, Jack Straw, Conservative former Foreign Secretary and Defence Secretary Malcolm Rifkind over the weekend saying that he agrees with them. This is a real sort of, the Overton window is shifting massively in relation to the ECHR, and I think that the Labour government are not going to be able to avoid talking about it for very much longer.
OK, Laura McKevitt, you're back with us in the next hour. Thank you very much.
Right, it is 6:10 and time for our daily reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Brenda, Vicar of St Francis Anglican Church in Ingleby Barwick. Jesus once told his disciples, "It is harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God than for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle." Jesus says this in response to a rich young man who had told Jesus he had faith. He also had more money than he ever needed, but when Jesus suggested letting go of his money and following him, the man chose his money and went away. There can be more of a barrier to following God if we think we are doing really well in life. As Jesus was choosing his disciples, he made what some people thought to be strange choices. He chose a tax collector called Matthew, who had plenty of money, who was indeed taking too much tax and keeping some for himself. Yet deep in his heart, that tax collector knew he was doing wrong. He knew he needed something more, and when Jesus chose him, Matthew followed. To the people looking on, they said, "What is Jesus doing, sitting with those tax collectors and sinners?" They thought he should have been sitting with the godly people. But Jesus replied by saying, "These people know that they are in need of healing, that they are sick." A real barrier to following God can be when we think we are fine, and even worse, if we're proud of being fine. But Jesus says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Amen.
Now, it's difficult for me, but I will try. Pavement parking. Is it a convenience?
Not pavement.
Not
parking.
pavement parking. Is it a convenience for drivers or a danger to pedestrians? Well, a new survey finds about 80% of motorists want tougher rules against it in England.
Well, it's already banned in London and Scotland, but we're asking this morning, should it be outlawed everywhere?
Let's talk to motoring journalist Maria McCarthy. Good to see you this morning, Maria. Look, I will put this point across. As someone who does pavement park on occasion, sometimes you haven't got any choice, have you? If you don't want to block the road, where are you meant to shove the car?
Well, one option is to park further away and walk. Walk that distance. I do agree that it's a difficult situation for many people because you have narrow streets, and also vehicles have got wider. Even things like the Mini Cooper and the VW Polo are about 20 centimetres wider than they were 20 years ago. So it is really, really tough. But it's also tough for people who are blind, people who are pushing buggies, wheelchair users. I mean, my late father was a wheelchair user, and back in the day, we'd have to sort of get him off the road, and then we'd be in the road, and then we'd have to get him back up onto the pavement again. And that's a big price to pay for somebody who's not prepared to walk around the block and thinks they have the right to park on the pavement.
Maria, how do you think it should work? Do you think this needs to be a national ban on pavement parking, or do you think it should be led by councils, so councils decide area by area where you're allowed to park?
I think it should be a mix. I think what we should do is have a blanket ban on pavement parking, and then what councils can do is, there's certain roads, I mean, there's one here in Exeter where the road is very narrow and the pavements are very wide. I'm not quite sure why, but, it's perfectly safe to park on there. So, a street like that would be fine. And I think one of the problems at the moment is legislation. It's just so unclear because there's this rule which says that you must not park on the pavement in London and Scotland, but you should not do it elsewhere. So it becomes a bit of a moral maze. And I think that, just to make that clearer about what people should do, because a lot of people sort of think, well, I can do it. And of course, traffic wardens can't do anything about it. Because of the should not, you can't prosecute somebody for breaking a should not.
I mean, my argument would be with this. I know you've raised the issue of wheelchairs and prams and all the rest of it, but my argument with it is most people, when you say pavement parking, most people aren't parking the whole car on the pavement. They've got a wheel on the curb. That's actually what it is, and there would be a possibility with this, and there always has been, that actually you can get a ticket for that. You can park, you can use 6 inches of curb and get a penalty for it, which seems frankly ridiculous.
But I think, what about blind people though? Because with a wheelchair, you might sort of think, well, I'm parking partly on the pavement, but there is still enough room for a wheelchair or a buggy.
Yes, there's loads of room if you do that.
They can't see the car there.
Well, presumably they're walking with a dog or a stick or something, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but I think, who knows? But I do feel also it damages the pavement. It damages the pavement structure, as it were. And to go back to another of the rules, by the way, that makes it complicated and actually means that people could be prosecuted, is another rule which is based on one from 1835. Says that you must not, this is another must not, drive onto the pavement, which is really weird because you can't be prosecuted for parking on the pavement, but you could be prosecuted for driving on it. But because people don't see you drive on it, unless you're a police officer or a warden and see them actually doing it, they can't be prosecuted. So it's a very weird situation, and I think that we do need to ban pavement parking, despite your reservations. And I also think that we need greater clarity in the law about it.
OK. Maria McCarthy, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Breakfast.
Thank you.
Oh, do let us know what you think on this one. I know this poll says 80% of drivers think it should be, sorted out. But I think for most people who do it, when especially on narrows, and you're literally just putting half a wheel on the curb, does that matter?
They would do it because they feel it's necessary, especially on narrow streets. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Do you do it? gbnews.com/you'll say.
Anyway, let's have a look at the weather for you today. Here's Craig.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers, but they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, the transfer deadline is soon upon us. Will there be any last-minute deals? We're going to find out next.
This is our country, and we think it's amazing. From high tea to the high street, we love it all. Even the rain, we like that too. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. That's why we're here to be the fearless champion of Britain, its voices and its values. Because we are GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Right, it's time for our brand new Great British Giveaway. This is new to us, so we're excited to see what's in store. It's our biggest prize ever, worth £104,000. So you could win a 4-berth motorhome worth more than 74 grand, plus £30,000 in tax-free cash.
It's a good one, isn't it? Here's Hayley Sparks with all the details.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof light, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For a chance to win the motorhome and cash, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now it's time to go through all the latest sports news. Paul Coates here with us.
Hello.
Morning.
Liverpool won, Arsenal
1-0.
nil. Oh. Yeah, it was nil. It's down. Oh, he wasn't very good. Would you say down or doer? It's doer. Doer. It's a doer game. Early on the season, is it probably early to call it a title decider when you've only played 3 games? But that's what it was looking like. Probably the best 2 teams in the country, is fair to say. But it wasn't a great game, but an unbelievable free kick by Dominic Szoboszlai. After 83 minutes, 35 yards out, right in the corner. So it gives Liverpool there the only team with maximum points. So played 3, won 3. Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, spoke afterwards, and we like him. This is what Arne had to say.
This if we play this game 10 times more in the same fashion, then I think it's 8 times a draw. We win it 1 time and Arsenal wins it 1 time because it was an uneventful game, which is something sometimes positive as well because both teams were really good in rest defense and in defending. But I think normally Arsenal and us are able to create more chances during a game. But it tells you also something about the structure and the amount of discipline both teams have without the ball. And then you need a moment of magic, which we got from Dominic. And that resulted us winning the game that was, like I just said, normally would have been ended in a draw.
Arne Slot, I like Arne Slot. I like the way he speaks, I like the way he is. I think he's a good manager and he seems like a decent man as well.
Yeah, it seems nice.
So that's all good. Well done. Some surprises. Bizarre. Well, I say bizarre. I mean, with respect to the teams that lost, but Brighton 2, or 1, I should say. Brighton 2, Manchester City 1. So Man City, they go 1 up. And then Pep Guardiola said they forgot to play, which is probably not a good thing if you're playing football. James Milner scored a penalty. Now, James Milner became the 2nd oldest player to score a Premier League goal at the age of 39 years, 239 days. Teddy Sheringham is one that has the record at 40 years. And also, so he's not only the 2nd oldest player to score in the Premier League, the 2nd youngest to score in the Premier League, which happened many years ago when he was just 16 years old. So anyway, the winner that came in the 89th minute for Brighton, so a great result for Brighton, not so good for Man City. Aston Villa lost to to Crystal Palace 3-0. And I don't know who would have called that last night, but that was the late game, so that was a great result for Crystal Palace. And West Ham, who have been awful, they go and turn it around. They go up to the City Ground in Nottingham and they win 3-0. What's going on? What's going on? So everything very surprising. Not many people. And when me and Clive Allen do our little predictions...
Is it a bit...
We didn't do so well. Didn't call any.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I don't
Got you
think...
on the back foot with that one.
I don't think many people would call that. Even West Ham fans, especially Dawn. And even Dawn Neeson had a clue that was going to happen, but it's a nice surprise for West Ham. Right, so today is the transfer window. The transfer window closes at 7 o'clock. So this possibly is when we're going to see this rush of deals, all done at the last minute. Sometimes, I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes a bit of a damp squib because you think it's going to happen now and then nothing happens. But it is very busy. Now, Alexander Isak. Now, we've spoken about him a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's Alexander Isak. That's him undercover with his, when he was a spy. But Alexander Isak... at Newcastle, he's been brilliant in Newcastle, but he's desperate to get out, and he's saying, I won't play, which is just, it's pathetic, really, and I really don't like the fact that you refuse to play, but it will help him get that move. Well, it seems that Liverpool have done the deal and agreed on £125 million, so Isak is going to be going to Liverpool, and that's expected today. So there's medical today and 6-year deal, so he's going to be out, and I'm sure that's going to go down very well when Liverpool play Newcastle next. Right, Emi Martinez, Aston Villa goalkeeper. Look at those gloves. Look at those gloves. Aston Villa keeper. Now, he didn't play against Crystal Palace yesterday, so they lost 3-0. But there's talk of him going to Manchester United. Now, Manchester United, they need a new goalkeeper because, with respect, although it doesn't sound like respect, both of their keepers are a little bit dodgy. You've got Altay Bayindir, Andre Onana. They both seem to make a mistake every time they play. So it looks like he's going to be going there. Although there was worry, and we had the Aston Villa fans. Where is he? What's going on? It seems that that's the case. So that looks like that's going to be tied up today. Yoann Wissa wants out of Brentford. He's put posts on Instagram. Now, even on Instagram, this is desperation. He's another one that said he's not going to play. And on Instagram, I could read the whole thing, but it goes on forever, basically saying, Brentford, I've loved my time there, but they're holding me back and I want to go, and there's only hours left of the transfer window, so he's desperate to get out. So it looks like he may go to Newcastle. And one more, Nicholas Jackson, who played at Chelsea, Chelsea striker, there he is. He's actually in Munich at the moment because he thought he was going to go to Bayern Munich on loan. He was looking forward to that. Everything looked good. He was going to have his medical. Then Rory Delap from Chelsea gets injured, so now he's being called back. So he's not very happy about that because he thought this is going to be a new start for him in Munich. And now it's Chelsea have said, well, sorry, you're not our first choice, but we do need you, so you better come back again. So that's a bit uncomfortable. What he could do is just say, well, I'm not going, because it seems to work for everybody else. Yeah. So that's the latest there. And also Mark Gahey as well, Crystal Palace captain, scored a great goal against Aston Villa yesterday. He's done it the right way. He's played in every game. He's not complained. He's not said, I want to move. But there was talk about him going to Liverpool. I don't know whether it's going to happen, though. Oliver Glasner, the manager of Crystal Palace, has said that we need to keep him here because they've already lost Eberici Eze and they don't want him to go. So he's a terrific player. So Liverpool would want him, but if it's going to happen, it's got to happen before 7 o'clock this evening. So
should be a busy day.
Right.
Yeah, very busy.
All right, keep an eye on that. Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Coity. Now, if you're travelling to work this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 northbound between Junction 3A and Junction 3, lanes 2 and 3 are blocked due to a road traffic incident. Drivers should be cautious. The A43 in Northamptonshire is facing disruptions northbound between the junctions with the A422 near Brackley and the A413 near Silverstone, following an incident involving an overturned vehicle. One of 2 lanes is closed. And on the trains, Northern buses are replacing trains between Corkickle and Whitehaven, adding to travel inconveniences. Remember to plan your journey accordingly. We'd advise checking for updates if you're travelling through these areas today. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Now, still to come, a new royal book has claimed the Queen was assaulted on a train as a teenager. We're going to get all the details in the paper review next with Dawn Neeson and Christopher Biggins.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie's here.
I'm Michelle Duke, Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers in the company of GB News presenter Dawn Neeson and the actor Christopher Biggins. Morning,
we were just busy chatting anyway in the break.
We were gossiping away,
waiting for you to come back.
Yeah.
Chris, should we start with the Telegraph and looking at the Queen?
Yes, sorry. This is the story is in the Telegraph. Queen fought off sex attacker when she was a teenager, a schoolgirl rather, and you know this is a legend story. We don't know how true it is, but I mean I can understand because. At the end of the day, I always say any story about the royal family is the fact that they are just like us. I mean, they are not. They are obviously. They have servants and they have money and they have, but they are just like us. And if she was attacked, she would protect herself. And they say that she went with a shoe, the heel of her shoe, to attack the attacker. And good luck, she was a feisty girl, and I'm sure, you know, if it's true, she actually went for it.
Yeah, well, apparently her mother had told her that if she was ever in that sort of situation to fight back, that's exactly what she did with this man who was trying to touch her on a train. And then it says when she got into London Paddington, she reported the incident to station staff and the man was arrested.
Yeah. Well, I think...
Oh, good on her.
Good on exactly, good on her.
No, absolutely. The thing is with this story, it's not her saying this story. It's not coming from the Queen. It is coming from a book called Power in the Palace by Valentine Lowe, which is being serialised in the Times newspaper. This is on the front page of the Telegraph, however. And this is an interview that the author has got from Boris Johnson. So this was obviously told in confidence to Boris Johnson by Camilla at some point, and Boris Johnson has relayed the story to the author of the book. Now, surely it isn't protocol that whatever the royals tell you in just conversation, you would know this, Biggins, or you've met or more. I mean, whatever they tell you in private, in confidence, you don't then sell on to a book or a national newspaper and reveal the details. But this is Boris Johnson we're talking about.
I know. I mean, it is very... You just don't do it. It's an etiquette thing. But, of course, everybody's now jumping in. And, of course, you know, there's going to be more stories. I mean, we know that there's going to be a book now about Prince Philip coming out, and there'll be stories in that. And, you know, but once again, I say they are just an ordinary family. I mean, I want to emphasise that.
But the one really good thing about this, I mean, it wasn't quite Boris Johnson. It was good for Harry, our communications director at the time, but same applies. The one good thing about the story is the Queen has campaigned for a long, long time now against domestic and sexual abuse. It's one of her a cause very close to her heart, and this happened when she was 16, 17 years old, so it's quite a long time ago. But obviously she raises awareness for this issue. So it's really good that it is on the front page because we are talking about it. And ladies, you know, always report these things as well. So many women do not.
Dawn, let's have a look at the Telegraph, should we?
Yes.
3 votes Rayner. Their latest attack on Angela Rayner.
This story's been going on for a week now. It started last weekend.
Yeah.
Every single day there's been a new strand to it. Well, this is the latest story on the home in Manchester, the home that she's recently brought in Hove, and a Grace and Favour apartment that goes with her job in Admiralty Arch. According to Electoral Register, the Deputy Prime Minister has a postal vote in a constituency home of Ashton-under-Lyne, where she is MP, and in Westminster. However, she is also now down to vote in Hove, where she's just bought that £800,000 seafront apartment. I don't know what any of this actually means anymore with Angela Rayner and her properties. I'm getting very...
It's got very complicated, hasn't it?
Oh, lordy, lordy. Where's she paying council tax? Has she paid the correct amount of tax here or there? There's no allegation she's done anything illegal whatsoever. It's a tax efficiency. The problem with this whole story is Angela Rayner, when she was in opposition, made a very big deal about demanding that the Tories were investigated about tax evasion. So at the very least, it is hypocrisy. However, having said all that, there is quite clearly somebody out to get Angela Rayner. And I'm wondering whether it's somebody that's it's involved in the Labour Party rather than a rival.
I agree.
Yeah, well, that's what's being suggested on the front page of the Daily Mail this morning, isn't it? As the bitter infighting party leadership is behind the leaks. This is the Tories claiming this morning.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what you think of Angela Rayner's politics, day in, day out, there is this poison being dripped.
Well, the infighting, I think, is huge in the party.
Frightening.
I think there's so much of it because they're as confused as we are about the political situation.
Biggins, this was the problem with the Tories. They were infighting, they were sort of, like rats in a sack.
I know.
And it's like, that's what brought them down. And we had how many Tory Prime Ministers? I mean, about 3 came along in a week, didn't they? But that's what brought them down. They couldn't be trusted. They weren't united, so how could they look after the country? And now you've got Labour doing the self-same thing.
After a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, after a year.
Yeah, which is the worry with it all.
I know.
Chris, let's have a look at this rival pill that can outdo a daily aspirin for heart health.
Well, I take a daily aspirin for my heart, and it's been brilliant. And, of course, I think, you know, what happens is that scientists are evolving new drugs for new situations. I mean, if this is true, that's great. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the problem is that, for instance, the slimming drug, the slimming injection you get now, with Trump saying that it's going to cost a lot more money. And then that is the problem. I mean, is this new drug going to cost more money?
Well, it will cost more than an aspirin.
It will cost, exactly. But the aspirin is very, very efficient. And certainly has done me marvellous things, you know. I mean, but, you know, evolving all the time, new things. And in fact, I think it's a problem because I think we should all be dead. Not...
Oh, thank you.
No, at a certain age. I mean, I'm 77. Now, I wouldn't have got to 77 years ago. I'd have been gone by 60 or something.
Yeah.
And this is the real problem. This is why everything is ageist. I mean, you know, the government are fighting the fact that, you know, we're all living much longer because people are bringing out drugs that are helping us stay alive.
Well, it'd be an interesting policy for someone to say, well, we need everyone to die at 60.
Well, you know, I mean,
I mean, it's not that long ago. The average lifespan in the UK was about 37.
Well, absolutely.
It's only 100, 150 years ago.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Happy Monday morning, everybody.
Yes. We're going to live forever. Well, Dawn and Chris are.
Oh, yes.
Well, Dawn and Biggins, do stay with us. We'll be back with you in just a few moments. You're going to be telling us about Gen Z, who are wanting to scrap wedding traditions such as cakes and speeches.
Goodness, dear, oh dear.
That. What would we have done at yours?
I know.
Never got a slice of cake at Ellie's. But first, if you want some holiday sun, here's the forecast for the top European destinations.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. It's remaining unsettled across parts of Central Europe as we go for the next few days. Either side, plenty of dry and sunny weather to be had. There could be a few showers on Tuesday across parts of the Canaries, but still plenty of dry and fine weather to be had. And for much of Iberia, actually plenty of sunshine around. But then we come back into the risk of some severe thunderstorms across parts of Italy and southern France. But then for much of Greece and Turkey, it's back to the sunshine with temperatures in places here reaching the low 30s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Rafe, I'm assuming the notion of dropping Winnie to replace him with a tranny fills you full of repulsion.
Yes, I personally, you know, as a Churchill historian, would love Churchill to be on the notes permanently. But yes, this is just part of this continuing war on our history that we often discuss on this channel. It's a long war, and it's just basically another attempt to gradually, or not so gradually actually, erase or rewrite our history. And, you know, the imagery on banknotes, on our passports, and, you know, the coins and stamps and all those sorts of things, they've traditionally always served to inspire pride in the nation. And those are really powerful symbols of our sovereignty and our identity. And it speaks a lot to, of course, to the changing fads and this desire we now see by our institutions, including the Bank of England, to create a new British identity, which is completely severed from the past.
I wonder, Rafe, we've had this conversation before. I wonder if a lot of this now is starting to feel a bit deliberate. Like, they know that Winston Churchill is worshipped and adored as one of the greatest ever Brits. They know we cherish the Union flag. They know we cherish our national anthems. Is that specifically why you think they're targeted?
That's precisely why it's being targeted. It's just that's what this is all about. You know, the Bank of England is just part of this long march through the institution. The Bank of England, remember, in its new Bank of England Museum, well, it has a permanent exhibition on slavery. And we need to understand that the elites who control our institutions bear no comparison to the generations that occupied those institutions. They're cuckoos in the nest. They're embarrassed by Britain's history and its historical figures. And what these people used to understand love of nation, and they've replaced that with national self-loathing.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
It's a surprise.
honest. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
That's Baron. He's strong, he's smart, he's tough, he's vicious, he's violent. All of the ingredients you need to be an entrepreneur. And most importantly, hopefully, he's smart. Because smart is really the ingredient. So, Baron, good luck. You have a long way to go. Uh-oh. He won't give up the mic.
Oh, that's really cute, isn't it?
Is it?
I think that's really nice.
It's like, well, I think it's a bit weird.
I think
It's a clip doing the rounds this morning of Donald Trump talking about his son, Baron, who's obviously now much older and 8'2".
Yeah. And he's holding baby Baron in his arms.
Yes.
I think it's very sweet.
Well, I don't think it's sweet, because when you say he's tough, he's strong, he's vicious, no, he's not, he's a baby.
You called him violent and vicious.
Yeah.
I mean, who
He
refers
means
to a toddler as that?
He means it in a toddler way.
Oh, does he?
Does he?
They can be vicious. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they can be loud.
You're being very good to Trump this morning.
No, but I feel like he's an entrepreneur, isn't he? So he wants to talk like his toddler's really tough.
He's going to be very smart.
He's
2
kissing
months
him
old.
and giving him a cuddle. I think it's quite sweet.
Well, he's certainly going to be very tall, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And he is a very...
He is tall.
Well, apparently it was a big part of his re-election campaign, wasn't he?
He was,
so
yeah.
to go for the bro vote. He was encouraging him to go on Joe Rogan's podcast and things like that. So he's probably got some good ideas.
Do you think he's all there, though?
Who? Trump or Baron?
No, Baron.
Oh, I don't know enough about him.
There's a little bit of something that makes me think that he's not quite with us.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the only person I've ever chatted to, like have a little chat with, who's ever met him, was Nigel Farage.
Right.
I don't know where we were now, but we were having a little gossip, and he was saying he thought that Baron was like a really, really nice and really with it young man.
Oh.
Well, that's the only context I've got. So
I'm glad to hear that, but I just think that there's sort of something odd.
No.
Well, he's been a bit of an enigma, hasn't he? We don't know too much about him.
No.
Other than the rumours that he helped his father.
He's still a teenager, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very young.
And he's 6'7".
6'7", there you go.
Very tall.
Very good.
Biggins, let's have a look, shall we, at Gen Z couples. They're falling out with wedding traditions such as speeches, cake, and even taking the groom's surname.
This depresses me so much. Honestly, what's wrong? A wedding is lovely. I mean, we all love a good wedding.
Yeah.
Why do people want to take away all that joy?
I really enjoy the speeches, but I know some people find them quite boring.
Well, I think you've got to be very careful. I think the trouble with speeches is that people have had a drink and they say things that perhaps they wouldn't normally say.
Yeah.
And it certainly happens a lot. I think weddings are Tinder for getting really people absolutely saying the truth and not necessarily meaning the truth. How were your speeches at your wedding?
Long. They were very good, but lovely.
No, they were very nice.
There was lots of them, and we all went very long, including me. I was about 15 minutes.
You were actually by far the best.
Oh, thank you.
I have
You did
to
a
say
speech
it.
as well, did you?
I did a speech at cocktail hour, so a little bit different. So before we sat down for dinner, I did
and it was superb, actually. Anyone would think you did it for a living.
It wasn't long, it was about 15 minutes, it was too long. But no, it's lovely. I really like it. I like hearing the backstory of the couple and...
Yeah, I agree too.
I think it's lovely.
I think it's lovely. I think all those things are lovely. The cake, everything about the tradition. Why do people want to stop traditions?
I know.
We've brought up our lives.
Probably because it's racist somewhere along the line.
Probably. Racist.
Probably racist.
Probably is.
No idea
misogynistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it is all about...
Probably imperialistic as well.
I mean, it's all about the father of the bride. And I mean, normally the bride doesn't get to say a word.
Yeah. Well, Ellie made up for it. Obviously,
Ellie made up for it. But did you speak at yours?
No. No one spoke at mine.
Oh, really?
It was a proper East London wedding. Everyone just got cheers, and that was it, really, basically. And that was about as good as it got. Which was fine by me, by the way, absolutely fine by me.
Yeah.
No, I don't want anyone talking gushingly about...
About you?
Certainly not about me, no, but about anything.
Dawn,
No.
I could talk gushingly about you. I could make a speech about you.
Oh, bless you.
I've got one on my sleeve.
Yeah. Bet you have.
Dawn, let's have a look at romance. Coming second when there's a cat to cuddle.
Well, this is why I asked Stephen innocently.
Yeah, or don't repeat that.
During the break,
repeat
remind
that.
me what his cat's name was. What did you think?
Timmy. Timmy is called Timmy.
That's original.
It's a lovely name.
It was the name he had when we adopted him.
Right.
Because he's a rescue, so he called Timmy.
You love Timmy, don't you?
Oh, I adore Timmy. He's about 18 now.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's 18.
Wow.
And you've also got Rex,
And Rex,
obviously,
yeah.
who's a very young dog. Which do you prefer?
I don't prefer either. I love them both.
They're like his children.
And they're both...
They're not children. They're not going to understand what you're saying,
but
by the way.
they're both very... They both love a cuddle.
Any case,
There
this
is
is
4 in a bed now at night time, and I love that. I love it.
And you told me not to repeat what I said during the break, and you're going about 4 in the bed, not even the watershed. Any case, this story is cat owners would rather share their lives and their beds with pets than people.
Well...
Does it say why, Dawn?
Yeah, because people are basically quite irritating, aren't they, and argue back. It's a staggering 71% prefer to spend time with the animals, and this is according to a new study by Pets for Home. What a surprise.
Yeah, but I don't know, if you've got a good relationship with it, I mean, I don't think it gets in the way of love, but I think it really makes a family, actually. Because if you've got a pet... I know you're laughing, you haven't got a pet. But if you've got a pet, Biggins, isn't it just a wonderful, wonderful... Because it's this innocent love you get from an animal.
I wouldn't know, because we don't have any pets. I mean, the reason we don't...
Right, on Team Evil, we...
No, but the reason we don't have any pets is, in fact, we're always away, and I think it's unfair.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to have a dog or a cat, you've got to be there to walk it, and I'm really anti-walkers of dogs. I think... Sorry?
You're anti-walker?
Yes, because I think that's the easy way out.
You mean employing a walker?
Employing, yes. Sorry, yes. And I think that's too easy to do, you know, to pay someone to do all that nasty work that you normally would do. But how big is your bed?
Oh, it's quite big.
Is it a king size?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love Neil, my partner, but I love a big bed, because however much you love someone, you don't want them absolutely next to you all night. And I don't know, the animal would worry me, you see.
Oh, yeah, well... Thanks very much indeed.
Very quiet during that.
Right, here's the weather with the very slim Craig Snell.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers. But they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M25 anti-clockwise between junctions 22 and 21A, a broken down vehicle is causing delays, with one of 4 lanes closed. Drivers should exercise caution in Edinburgh due to surface water. In Northamptonshire, the A43 northbound is delayed by an overturned vehicle between junctions with the A422 Brackley and the A413 Silverstone, affecting one of 2 lanes. Adjust your journey plans accordingly. And on the trains, Great Western Railway is experiencing disruption between Theale and Newbury, while buses replace trains from Corkicle to Whitehaven. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Good morning. Parliament returns today as the Home Secretary pledges to reform the asylum system.
Yes, the government's plan for change includes a promise to clear the backlog of cases and tighten rules on migrant dependents.
But after a summer of protests, of course, is the government already on the back foot?
Party conference season begins with a bang. Some of Reform UK's biggest names look ahead to their Birmingham event later this week.
The new school term starts today, but after the Education Secretary admitted working-class pupils have been resolutely failed, is the government failing a generation of blue-collar pupils? We'll debate that in about 20 minutes.
A shocking revelation about Queen Camilla as the new book claims that the royal fought off a sexual assault as a teenager. We'll be getting all of the details in full this morning.
James Bulger's killer, John Venables, could be freed from prison within months after being granted a new parole bid.
Don't make unnecessary journeys. Don't take risks on treacherous roads. And don't swim in the sea.
Shout for the storm. Well, the new list of storm names sees some unexpected entries, including Verba. We're getting the list in full very shortly.
£0.7 billion project in limbo. The A5 connects Northern Ireland from Londonderry through Omagh to Ballygawley.
But anger amongst locals as a major motorway project in Northern Ireland is put on hold over net zero concerns.
And sport this morning, brilliant 35-yard Dominic Szoboszlai free kick sees Liverpool beat Arsenal at Anfield. Some eyebrow-raising results in the Premier League yesterday. We'll go through some of those, and lots of deals to be done. Well, we hope so anyway, as the transfer window shuts closed at 7 o'clock this evening.
Good morning. It's the first day of autumn today and the weather certainly feels like it's out there. Actually, for some of us, it's a very wet start for Monday morning. Find out where with me a little later.
Just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. You know, we're talking about Timmy in the paper.
Oh, yes.
And now it's got me thinking about cats, because there's a story in the Daily Mail today about a cat called Peanut. He's an adventurous moggy, we're told. He vanished from home 3 weeks ago and ended up in a pub 30 miles away.
Oh, what?
Yes.
30 miles?
30 miles. He got 30 miles away, don't ask me how. And then he got home, and then literally 3 weeks later ended up in the same pub again. Just loved this pub.
Really?
Made it his new local, even though it wasn't very local.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
I just can't understand how it would get 30 miles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pub boss Danny says that Peanut has become quite the regular.
Did he know his name was Peanut then?
It does now.
Yeah.
Apparently the owners found him because he had a GPS tracking device, so I think he probably had form for being a roving cat.
Yes.
But yeah, he's just headed to the pub.
Well, that's... I mean, look, at least they've got an idea where he's going. Where's Peanut? Oh, he's probably down the pub.
Yeah, probably down the pub 30 miles away.
I got dog trouble.
Oh, yeah?
Nellie... Let me ask you this.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because Nellie keeps now the fact that obviously we lost Dudley, and now Nellie's on her... If we all leave the home, leave the house, Nellie... constantly.
Separation anxiety.
Yes, really bad. And we left to see what would happen if we left, because I thought it might be the tree that falls down in the woods if no one's there.
Yeah.
But then filmed it the whole time. What are you supposed to do?
For how long?
Leave it. It's like...
Is that ridiculous?
Yeah.
Like the crying out method.
And the big thing is, when you go back in and you're then fussing over immediately, you've got to not do that.
But you should hear the noise, Stephen.
No, it's awful.
She's never been by herself, though, has she?
That's
She's always
right.
had dudders.
Yeah.
See, I would probably seek professional help. I would
But I'm thinking of seeking professional help.
I'm very concerned.
You've got to leave it, and then when you go back in the house, you've actually got to ignore her a little bit
don't.
till she stops.
Oh, you're so cruel.
No, but you do. If you look at how to deal with it, that's exactly what they tell you to do.
I don't know
The
if I take
experts
it to
online.
OK, fine. I don't know.
That is what they tell. It's really, really
But
hard.
I hear stories that some dogs get so upset. Some dogs have had heart attacks because they're so upset. I've heard that before. I can't do that.
Yeah,
Can you imagine? Well, Stephen said leave her.
I don't know.
I think
Don't
try
believe
it.
her.
It's a bit like cage training, isn't it? It takes a while.
OK.
Oh, I know it's hard. I know it's horrible.
I don't know. I'd look that up.
OK.
I feel like that's quite mean.
I'm more leaning towards
Sorry.
Ellie at the moment. Can I just bring her around to your place? Is that all right?
Yeah, I'm pathetic, though. I'd be like, oh, you poor thing, come here.
You wait till you have a child.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Just before we move on to the proper news, I can't help, because this picture of Camilla is in a lot of the papers this morning. And this is when she was... This was in 1965, I think.
The quality
she was
of that
a debutante.
photo is incredible.
It's incredible. And what a beautiful young girl she is. However, she appears to be wearing 2 trays of Ferrero Rocher for earrings, which I just cannot see past. You can't get close enough in to see that, can you?
They're just big golden balls. Yeah,
it's
I
just...
see what you mean.
It's 2 trays of Ferrero Rocher Ambassador. Were you really expecting us?
Yeah, that's her on the left, someone's asking there.
Yes, this one here, yes, that one.
Well, by 1967, there was only one left, you know.
That's what?
There was only one left by 1967, because every now and again...
Eating them all.
Oh, just in case you're a bit peckish.
Oh, you're really treating us.
Yes.
But there
Ambassador.
You go.
I mean...
Incredible. Anyway,
Royal Highness.
Should we get on with the news?
We better have.
All of that.
We better have, because summer's over. Parliament's returning today, and it looks like it's going to be a very busy week.
Yes, the Home Secretary, Beck Cooper, is set to launch a new plan for change in order to overhaul the asylum system and stop the use of migrant hotels by the end of 2029.
Changes include migrants being required to prove they have sufficient funds before family members can join them in Britain, as well as tighter rules on English language requirements.
Well, let's find out more now with former Conservative advisor Lauren McKevitt. Morning to you, Lauren. And these are the plans as we understand it.
Yeah, they're going to be announced later today. It's questionable, given the legal situation we find ourselves in with ECHR, whether or not anything is actually going to bring the numbers down, short of getting ourselves out of the entanglement we find ourselves in with the right to family life clause. But where there has been a discrepancy up to this point is between regularised migration, where someone's applying for a visa to come and work here, work for a bank or something, where they have to prove funds in order to support a spouse if they're bringing the spouse with them and the spouse isn't also on a working visa under their own steam. People claiming asylum have not had to meet that income threshold, and I think have had different language requirements placed upon them. So I think, in terms of family reunion, if you are then through a regular route trying to claim family reunion after you've been through the asylum system, that will make things harder. What's hard to see at the moment is whether or not this will just increase the irregular route for family reunion, where you get more women and children trying to join their spouses here by getting on a boat in northern France. And we still don't have a good enough deterrent for stopping people doing that. I read in the paper this morning that I think about 100 people have been switched with France, and when we consider the thousands who've come over the course of the summer, that's clearly a drop in the ocean. And there are, this is an issue that's rumbling in loads of communities up and down the country.
But this is clearly a sign, isn't it? That, I mean, the fact the government is saying, oh yes, I think we're a little bit out of sync with the rest of Europe. We're going to tighten up the rules. Is a sign that they're feeling the pressure, aren't they?
It is, absolutely, but I think every attempt to restrict the legal routes by which you can do something, if that person is determined to come to the United Kingdom anyway, it just increases the illegal options for that person, which, when we're talking about the potential for women and children to be reunited, may end up with more women and children trying to cross the Channel, which obviously is incredibly dangerous. That is an incredibly dangerous thing to do. And I think it will enrage a lot more people in this country when that is the outcome. We've got this overturning of the Epping Bell Hotel ruling late last week. We've got the Tory peers trying to do something fun with the planning bill that's hitting the Lords. Soon they're going to try and amend it so that hotels and HMOs have to submit for a change of use if a hotel or a form of accommodation is converting into migrant provision. So Labour are going to have to battle that off in the Lords, which will be embarrassing for them when they try and battle it off in the same way that they've battled off the case in Epping. There's a lot that's going to make the government look pretty bad about this in the next several months, short of leaving ECHR and slamming the borders shut and just doing what basically Farage and, frankly, Kemi Badenoch and Robert Jenrick are after, which is sending everybody out of the country as soon as they get here. We don't have enough of a deterrent. Even the French are telling us we don't have enough of a deterrent, and that we are part of the problem for why there are so many people trying to cross the Channel, because life is too good when you get here. Dental appointments, NHS care, all of which are legally required from the NHS because of their obligation towards low-income persons in the United Kingdom. This is an awful lot of people who can't get dentist appointments in the country feeling aggrieved by this, and I don't see that this is a solution that's going to really change the direction of travel on that really anytime soon.
OK. Lauren McKevitt, good to see you this morning.
Thank you
very much.
I just want to bring a little bit of breaking news. We're hearing about a powerful earthquake, magnitude 6, I think, in which 622 people have died that we know of so far. It's in Afghanistan along the Pakistan border.
Yes, officials have said that houses have been reduced to rubble following that 6 magnitude earthquake. According to reports, the region is mountainous, meaning that information on the earthquake is trickling out slowly. But any new information we get on that, we will bring to you this morning on the programme. But we do know that this powerful earthquake has hit Afghanistan on the border with Pakistan.
It's worth pointing out, I mean, magnitude 6 is big. Each step up the scale is sort of exponentially more, so 6 really is a big one. So it's really concerning. We've got some images of the region on the screen now, not that it's showing a great deal, to be fair, especially in that sort of light, but so that if we've got that, we can see some of the movement there when that earthquake struck. But as we're saying, death toll standing at 622 at the moment. No idea how we're looking at in terms of injury numbers and things like that, but also whether that death toll at least has the potential to rise significantly. But we will bring you all the very latest as we get it.
Now, at 12 minutes past 7, and the new storm season starts today, and with colder weather on the way, this year's storm names are in.
Yes. Usual mix of bizarre stuff, though. There are one or two you might recognise, because it's down to the public, apparently. Amy, Bram, Eddie is in there.
Not Ellie, that's a shame.
Gerard is in there.
That's nice.
Which is
name.
nice.
Stephen?
No.
Oh.
Stephen never gets on anything. Anyway, so they're the sort of names coming in from more than 50,000 suggestions.
Well, let's get more from meteorologist Alex Burkle, who you may recognise from our weather updates in the morning. Morning to you, Alex. So how are these storm names chosen?
Good morning. Yes, we did get the names suggested in by the public. We had over 50,000 suggestions from both those selected or inputted to the Met Office, and then also those suggested to Met Éireann and KNMI, our Irish and Dutch Met services, who we name our storms in partnership. And you said there is no Stephen. There is a Stevie, not quite the same, but if we get to S, which we never have done before, but we may get there this year, who knows? If we get to S, then we would have a Storm Stevie coming our way.
Oh, I shall look forward to that. There's lots of... I'm a bit intrigued. I mean, things like Hannah and... that's from the Netherlands, Hannah. As is Jana. They seem to have a theme going on.
So the names were suggested. Some of them are Irish names, some of them are Dutch names. A lot of them are traditional UK names as well. When it came to picking the actual list, some of them were the most popular names suggested. Amy, Isla, for example, in that instance, we went with the name that was the most popular suggestion from all those that came in from the public. Other names were picked more for sentimental reasons. Maybe they had especially good value for the reason that they'd been suggested, and it really hit home with the people in the team that were choosing the names this year, and so they selected the name for that reason. We had thousands of names suggested, so we couldn't pick them all. And also worth bearing in mind, some of the names that were suggested were a little controversial. Some of them we couldn't pick for obvious reasons. We're not going to have a Stormy McStormface just yet. We're also not going to have a Stormzy, but we also needed to discount anything that could cause any question marks or could cause any controversy when it came to picking the name.
Alex, how far down the list do you think we're going to get in terms of name storms this season?
Well, so the average is to get to around 8 letters in. And so what's that? Is that H? So that's probably the safe bet, saying around H. We've got a little bit further in the past. I think this year we only got as far as Floris, so 6 letters in. So whether or not it's a stormier than average season or not, that's still all to play for. We haven't quite got the information on that at the moment, but it is definitely more unsettled at the moment than it has been through much of summer. We have more heavy rain coming through this week. There are going to be plenty of showers and blustery winds. So although it's not stormy as such this week, it is definitely going to be quite wet and windy at times.
Right, here's a suggestion for you, Alex. Let's do a list of all traditional names one year, should we? Because I know we've got Ruby and we've also got Violet on the list, which we're never going to get to. But a whole list of sort of more traditional names would be nice. A Storm George and a Storm Eustace and a Charles and all that sort of thing. It'd be very nice. Don't you think?
Some of the names are pretty traditional. We have a Storm Dave this year. Good chance that we'll get to D. So some of them less so. Chandra, for example. But I mean, from my point of view, it would make life slightly easier if all the names were easy to pronounce. I'm not entirely sure how I pronounce the T. I think it's Taiji, but I'll have to learn that. That was Tai. Okay.
I used to work with a Tig, and it threw me the first time I ever had to introduce him. Tig.
You probably don't need to worry, Alex. It's all the way down at T.
Yeah. No, you'll be all right.
Hopefully we don't get that far.
Yeah,
all right.
You'll be all right.
You'll be fine. Alex, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Alex.
Yes, Tig is a funny one because it's Irish, obviously, as you'll know. But it's spelled T-A-D-H-G. And the first time I had to introduce this particular fella, and it popped up on autocue, and we just had to say, now here's... I think we went Tahajaha.
Tahagut, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, Tig.
So I've always known ever since it's Tig.
And Fanula is the letter F for this storm season, and it says to say it like Finula. There you go. Would you have known that?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because I ain't daft. I may look it, but I ain't daft.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be able to say that.
I'm surprised they haven't put a pronunciation in for Dave, because some of the stuff is crazy.
Bram, I like storm Bram. Bram sounds a good storm.
Does it?
Yeah, sounds strong and
It's
powerful.
weird because Bram, I just think of Dracula, and Lilith is in there, and I just think of Frasier and Lilith and Cheers and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, there you go.
Anyway, I don't think there's any storms on the horizon today.
No.
Although there is quite a lot of rain.
Is there?
We can get all the details with Craig Snell.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today, it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers. But they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, it's time for our latest Great British Giveaway. It's a new one, new to us as well. Our biggest prize ever, worth over £104,000. But what's included, Stephen?
Oh, yes, well, we're back to a motorhome. Oh, yes. So I can start dreaming of that again. A four-berth motorhome worth more than £74,000. And as if that wasn't enough, we're throwing 30 grand on top. Here's Hayley Sparks with the details.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000. £30,000. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof light, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For a chance to win the motorhome and cash, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. You're jealous, aren't you? Because you'd like to be involved in that.
I would.
But you can't be.
No. Be
No.
great. Can you imagine winning that, though? 30 grand plus a motorhome.
I know, and you can go anywhere you like. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Ooh, smashing.
So do get involved in that. Now, do stay with us. Still to come, the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, is here at 7:30 this morning, ahead of the government announcing their plans to crack down on asylum claims.
First, though, is the government failing working-class students. We'll debate that next.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our viewers and listeners. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
I want to be outraged.
Oh, by what?
The Daily Star, because it's done a big thing about Christmas presents.
No, it's too soon to talk about Christmas now. Come on.
What?
It's September.
What to buy your kids? Dinosaurs are the big thing, apparently.
Are they?
But there's a Monster Jam Grave Digger car.
Grave Digger?
Grave Digger.
It's a bit dark, isn't it?
Which is odd. There's Clombo, which is a sort of Fortnite, which is a game thing, I think. So but there's
You're very
also
down with the kids.
there's also this, which is right. This is what makes. Is this really what children want these days? What is wrong with children? It's called Little Live Pet Giraffe Gigi. £30, and it's like a little plastic giraffe
cute,
thing.
To be fair.
Oh, well, it might look cute, but the big thing on the box says, "Feed me. I do a magic poop."
Oh, dear.
I mean, what?
Kids are obsessed with poop, though. I was talking to someone the other day, and there's a whole show in the West End about poop.
Really?
Yeah, and kids apparently are dying to go see this, and you can't get tickets, and they love it. It's about I think it's about a T-Rex or something that poops all the time. If you're a parent or grandparent out there and you know what I'm talking about, please let me know what it's called. But yeah, they all go mad for it.
Really?
So that would explain it.
All right. I just think it's really hard.
Yeah, written by someone in McFly, I'm being told.
Oh, right.
And he wrote the play about the T-Rex who...
Was he short of something to... Was he short of something to talk about?
It's been a hit. The children love it.
Oh, there you go.
But it's also lots of money for Father Christmas. These toys are £90. Anything from £40 to £90. It adds up.
It does add up. So Santa's feeling generous.
Yeah, clearly.
All I can say. Right. Should we talk about students?
Yes, let's, because the charity is warning that poorer students are being left behind, as the survey shows that 23% of pupils on free school meals avoid subjects because of cost.
Right. At the same time, A-level students in London are outperforming those living in the North East.
Well, it raises a serious question. Is the government failing working-class students?
OK, let's see what our guests make of that. Teacher and broadcaster Bobby Seagull and former Labour advisor Stella Santakidou. Good to see you both this morning. I don't really understand some of the comparisons in this, Bobby, when children on free school meals are avoiding subjects because of the cost. How does that work?
Yeah, well, so good morning again. As an educator and teacher with a new school term starting, every teacher believes that every child deserves a chance to succeed, irrespective of socioeconomic background. And again, as a mathematician, I'll say, what does the data tell us? And again, there's research, again, you were saying from the Child Poverty Action Group, it said a quarter of children in secondary who are on free school meals, so these are families with lower, I guess, universal credit, they said that the cost fears prevent them from picking a subject compared to 9% of their peers. And what this means is they are worried about the costs of things like university, tuition fees, whether they can afford to do A-level in terms of should they be able to support their family instead of, like, again, you go to college, it means you're forfeiting the opportunity cost of, let's say, getting a Saturday job or getting a job in the daytime. So it's actually where monetary fears stop them from progressing up the academic chain. And I think what this tells us is we still live in a country where even though education's supposed to be free, it isn't. It's a performative function. And I think as educators, we should be really worried because we are letting down working class children in that way. And secondly, again, the postcode lottery. Again, in the 1990s, as a London teacher, London used to be the worst performing part of the country academically. But now we're seeing actually a massive regional divide. In terms of A-levels, we had a couple of weeks ago, London had A and A star 32%, whereas the North East had only 23%. And at GCSE, the gap is even more stark, with maths and English at good passes, grade 5, London had 55% and the North East had 42%. So we are, as a country, and that includes the government, obviously, because they're in charge of decisions, we are sadly letting down working class regions. And this then exacerbates our differences and then polarises the country even further.
Stella, do you think that the government is failing working class children?
I agree with the points Bobby made, but I just think that these are all because of decisions that were made under the Conservative government over the last 14 years. So the statistic about 23% of pupils on free school meals avoiding subjects due to cost, that is true. And this is a statistics dating back to 2024. So really, Labour hasn't had very much time to do anything about it. This dates back to 2010, when the Tories introduced the EBAC. Also, again, they scrapped Labour's London Challenge, which was a model that was introduced from 2003 until 2010, and that is what had made an incredible difference in terms of how the students were performing in their GCSE maths and English. In terms of child poverty, obviously, we've seen so many more kids being on free school meals because of decisions that were made under the Conservatives. So I do think that there is a lot that needs to be done. I'm really, really pleased to see that the Labour Party has invested £500 million in Best Start centres, which is what the School Start centres used to be, because we know that the first few years are incredibly, incredibly important for children's education and development capacity throughout their life. And I think that this is it is a work in progress. But I agree with Bobby, education for me should be free. For me, all education should be free. However, I don't think that everybody needs to go to university. I personally don't even think that everybody needs to be in high school until the age of 18 either. I think that we do need to make sure that students have the ability to choose whatever subject they want to study, because I just think that this is fair, and I think that we should allow everybody to flourish in the way they want to. And I agree that we're just simply nowhere near there at the moment. I just think that the Labour Party is doing really, really good work at the moment, putting the foundations there.
OK, we've got to leave it there, you two, but fascinating to get both those views. Bobby, Stella, thank you very much indeed.
Well, Parliament is back from summer recess today, and so is Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp. Good morning to you, Mr. Philp.
Good morning.
Morning. Can I start by asking about the government plans to tighten the rules on migrant dependents? So we understand it will be a restriction of when refugees can bring over their families. They'll need to have a certain amount of money behind them. There's also going to be a stricter English language requirement. What do you make of those plans as we understand them? It sounds like it would be good for integration.
Well, look, I mean, these are basically tweaks around the edges. Frankly, people that enter this country illegally should not be allowed to stay at all, and they certainly shouldn't be allowed to bring any family members in at all if they entered the country illegally. So our view on this is that anyone crossing the channel on a small boat, anyone entering the country illegally, whether or not they claim asylum, should be, frankly, removed immediately, either back to their country of origin or to a safe third country, for example, Rwanda, but it could be somewhere else. If not, they shouldn't be staying here, shouldn't be staying in hotels or anything else. They shouldn't be bringing any family members over. Anyone who enters this country illegally should be removed. It is as simple as that. And what the government are doing today is simply tinkering around the edges. They don't seem to recognise we have a full-blown migration crisis on our hands, on Labour's watch. The numbers crossing the channel on small boats are up about 40% since last year. This year, 2025, it's been the worst year in history for small boat crossings. The government are in denial, and all they're doing is tinkering around the edges. Apart from fixing the problem, the only way to fix the problem is to remove everybody who crosses the channel illegally immediately the minute their feet touch dry land.
Right, but is that even feasible? I mean, it's certainly nothing you were ever able to do.
Well, I think, yes, it is feasible. We've tabled a deportation bill in Parliament just a few weeks ago, a detailed bill. Labour predictably voted against it. But I think it is feasible, yes, to return people either to their country of origin. We did that with lots of Albanians, for example, cut the numbers of Albanians crossing by 90%, or to use a third country like Rwanda if you can't return to the country of origin, which in some cases is difficult. And that Rwanda plan took 2 years to get it set up, all the legal challenges. You probably remember we had to pass a new law through Parliament, but that was ready to go by July of last year, just after the election. And what did Keir Starmer do? He went and cancelled it with no replacement, and numbers have surged. And you know what? He must be sometimes laying awake at night in Downing Street in a cold sweat, thinking to himself, it was a mistake to cancel that Rwanda plan, because numbers have gone up. All Labour have a gimmick. Do you remember first they said they're going to smash the gangs? Well, that didn't happen. Then they said the French were going to do something in the sea, close to the shore. That hasn't happened either. Then they said they were going to send 50 people a week back, which firstly would make no difference because it means 94% of people could stay. And actually, even not a single person has been sent back to France, so far as I'm aware. And now they said they're going to tweak family rules. All of these things are little gimmicks, tweaking at the edges. None of them made any difference, and the government don't understand we have a full-blown crisis. People are furious about this, rightly. That's why there are protests erupting up and down the country at the hotels. The government was said just this weekend, Bridget Phillipson yesterday said she thought the rights of illegal immigrants were more important than the rights of local people in Epping, doubling down on what the government lawyer said in the court case last week. No wonder people are angry with the government about this.
Yeah, OK, and I know the Conservatives have got this plan in place now, haven't they? And you've phrased it as saying you're trying to force the Labour Party to decide whether it stands with local communities or illegal migrants, and this is peers who are going to table amendments to the Planning and Infrastructure Bill. But at one point under the Tories, there was 400 migrant hotels. It's down to about 210, we think, at the moment. I mean, you didn't seem to be that bothered about the concerns of local communities when you were in power. So how now are you the champions of local communities?
Well, that reduction from 400 down to about 200 or 210, that entirely happened during the last 9 months of the last government. Since the election, the numbers of illegal immigrants in these asylum hotels has actually gone back up again. It's gone up by about 8%. So I accept it should never have got to 400. That is a fair point. I accept that. But the last government did get it down from 400 to 200 in 9 months. And if that rate of reduction had continued, right now we'd have no illegal immigrants in hotels at all. We now have a new leadership. I'm a new Shadow Home Secretary. We've got a new leader. We have a new approach, which is to make sure every single illegal immigrant crossing the Channel is immediately removed. And that will firstly mean no one staying in hotels or apartments or anything else. It will also have a massive deterrent effect, because if you're an illegal immigrant in Europe, you're not going to bother crossing if you know you're going to get immediately removed. This is a national crisis, in my view. It's a border crisis. It's also a public safety crisis, because we've seen hundreds of these illegal immigrants in the hotels getting charged with serious criminal offences, including sexual assaults against women and girls as young as 8. One of these men was convicted recently for raping a 15-year-old girl. And part of his defence in court was to say it was he didn't understand it was wrong because of his culture. He was from Afghanistan, which is an absolutely disgraceful thing to say, but it highlights that this border security crisis is also putting women and girls at risk. Enough is enough. It has to end, but this government is too weak to do what is needed. What is needed is to remove everybody, every single person, 100%, who crosses the English Channel by small boat. And they're just not willing to do it because they don't understand it's a crisis. And as they've themselves admitted, they're more interested in the so-called human rights of illegal immigrants than they are in protecting the British public.
We're out of time with you, I'm afraid, this morning, Mr. Philp, but thank you very much for joining us here on Breakfast.
Thank you.
Right, still to come. This clip of a man snatching a hat from a child has gone viral over the weekend. We'll bring you more and tell you what happened next in a moment.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Drivers in Edinburgh are urged to be cautious as surface water affects driving conditions. On the M25 anti-clockwise, a broken down vehicle between junction 22 and junction 21A causes one of 4 lanes to be closed, resulting in delays. In Northumberland, efforts continue to clear an overturned vehicle on the A1 northbound, with all lanes closed. This is expected to be resolved by 11:35 this morning. And on the trains, there's disruption between Cleethorpes and Grimsby Town on East Midlands Railway, as well as between Theale and Newbury on the Great Western Railway. Stay informed. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Childcare weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, this chap made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's sports time with Paul Coit, who's here with us. And something about hat stealing.
Oh, the hat. Oh no, the hat.
It's gone viral.
Oh, my, don't even get me going on the hat.
Right.
US Open, before we play this, Polish player Kamil Maczak is there after his game in the second round of the US Open. This is on Thursday, because this just got exploded. It's even bigger than that. The Coldplay CEO. So anyway, so there he's signing autographs. And then he hands his cap to this young child who was watching, which is a lovely thing.
Yes. Lovely.
Let's have a look and see what happened next. So there he is, signing stuff. No. Oh, there we are. Give it to the kid. Oh!
He snatched it.
Look at that man. And you know what? And the kid's like, what are you doing?
With my hat.
Oh, that's
and the
so
shoves
it in his bag.
He puts it in his wife's bag and not even looking at the kid. That is outrageous. So again, for anybody that didn't see this, or if you're listening on the radio, then there's the tennis player. He hands his cap to this small child, and another man, this horrible man, puts his hand out, grabs the hat, and then takes it away from the kid. The kid is still looking, thinking, well, where is it?
Oh, that's horrible.
So anyway, so this man obviously has now become public enemy number one.
Yeah.
He's Polish as well. Piotr Szerek, his name is, the CEO of a company called Drogbruk.
He's a CEO?
He's a CEO, and that's it. It's
Well, he
another
should know
CEO
better.
story.
He should know better.
Of a paving company in Poland. So then he gave it to his wife, and now everybody's sending messages to this guy. There was a nice bit, because then the player did meet the kid afterwards, and then met him afterwards. I think we've got something. I think we got a little picture of them together. Look, there we are.
Well, that's nice.
And so there we are. You could probably give him a hat, a shirt, and goodness knows what else. But that guy, I mean, what kind of a person
steals from a child?
It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous.
Horrible.
So anyway, to make us feel a little bit better, show that sometimes things do work out a little bit better. This happened at a baseball game recently. Have a look at this one. So this is where, because often you hit these fly balls, which means the ball comes flying out, and then people catch it and they get to keep it. By the way, you can't do that at football and cricket over here.
No.
You always have to give the ball back. Same at Wimbledon as well. Got to give the ball back. So anyway, the ball will come flying out and someone is going to get it. So there we are. There, he's running down, and there's a child also. I want it too. I want it too. Aha! I've got the ball. And then what does he do? Go on, give it to her.
Sees the little girl.
He gives it to the little girl.
That's what you should do.
And that's the way it should be done, and that's what we like to think we would all do,
What
right?
a gentleman.
And I think we would.
Lovely. Oh, you've got to, especially when it's a little girl.
Yeah. Anyway, transfer window's on. We've got some more details on that coming up because that ends at 7 o'clock tonight.
All right, lovely.
It's going to be a busy
Paul,
day.
thank you. Right, still to come, a new royal book has claimed the Queen was assaulted on a train as a teenager. We'll get details in the paper review next with Dawn and Biggins, but first, here's your European forecast.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. It's remaining unsettled across parts of Central Europe as we go for the next few days. Either side, plenty of dry and sunny weather to be had. There could be a few showers on Tuesday across parts of the Canaries, but still plenty of dry and fine weather to be had. And for much of Iberia, actually, plenty of sunshine around. But then we come back into the risk of some severe thunderstorms across parts of Italy and southern France. But then for much of Greece and Turkey, it's back to the sunshine with temperatures in places here reaching the low 30s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
It's a really nice idea to get the public involved, and it's our notes, isn't it? So why shouldn't the public have to say on who's on notes? And it's not just people; it's also places and anything particularly British. I mean, I'd like to see Big Ben on some notes, which is a very distinctive element of this country. Big Ben, everybody recognises Big Ben across the world. Being rather popular, so I'd have the Beatles on there. The best band that we've ever had, the best band in the world ever.
For heaven's sake, Norman
You careful, for you'll upset the viewers. Beatles are fantastic. But you want to something like that which recognises the talent that's been in this country. We've had Shakespeare, of course, and we've had Winston Churchill. But let's have something a bit more up to date.
David Attenborough.
A brilliant idea.
Thank you.
Brilliant idea.
No, I've just come up with that, and I thought that was quite good. And then they also encourage ideas, nature, don't they? So I thought maybe some acorns.
Why not a beaver?
A beaver is a great idea, Claire.
Two things.
And a dam.
Two things to mention on this, right? One, you still cannot pass a Scottish note in anywhere in England, and for fear it will not be accepted as legal tender, right?
But can they not?
It is legal tender.
Of course
but
it
is legal. Yeah, it is legal tender. Same as an Ulster note.
Yeah.
It's all sterling. It's got the word sterling written on it and whatever. But you do find a certain resistance to.
Huge resistance. And see, the minute they start to hold it up in the air, I'm like, I'm going to get you. Just don't ignite.
When I came back from Aberdeen last time, full of Scottish notes, and I went into shops, I didn't have any resistance, and I was ready for it, though. I was ready for it. I was going to say, well, take it or leave it.
It's legal tender.
It's legal tender.
Yeah, but the other thing is it not the Bank of England that wants to remove the historical characters on the notes? I mean, who actually uses cash? I prefer to use cash.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Right, should we go through the papers with GB News presenter Dawn Newsroom and the actor Christopher Biggins. Good morning.
With a capital A.
Oh, absolutely. Can we have a quick word about the Queen?
Shall we?
Because all this news has come out about the fact that she was the victim of an attempted indecent assault. when she was a teenager,
Yes.
but she fought back.
She did, indeed, as you would expect Camilla to do so.
Good on her.
This is when she was Camilla Shand. She was 16 or 17 years old, and she was travelling into London on the train, and a chap sat next to her and put his hand on her leg and tried to move it up. Camilla did what any feisty young woman of good breeding would do, took her shoe off and whacked him in the ghoulies.
Good
for her. Exactly that. And then she
Good.
got off the train and she did what also everyone should do and reported it to the station staff. This story.
And he got arrested.
He got arrested. Absolutely. Yeah.
We don't. What they don't say in the piece, though, it was Charles that actually attacked her.
So not true. Not true.
This story has come about in a new book called Power and the Palace by former royal correspondent Valentine Lowe.
And it's come from a chat with Boris Johnson, hasn't
Well,
it?
it's come from a Boris Johnson's communications director who was telling the story. Obviously, Camilla told Boris the story. Boris told everybody the story by the sound of it, and that's how it's ended up in the book. So, but I thought protocol meant that everything the royals said to you weren't meant to repeat.
Oh, no, you're not meant to repeat.
No, exactly.
But at least this is one of her showing her feisty spirit, and I say all power to her elbow and her heel.
And also, Stephen, it's a subject close to her heart with domestic violence.
Yes, it is.
So talking about it.
In The Guardian, Biggins, as an actor, you know all about this. Jude Law is in his new film is playing Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
I would have thought that was a bit of a risk.
Yeah, I'd be nervous if I was Jude.
I think you're overreacting because I don't think. I mean, I think that if suddenly Jude Law dies in the next month, then perhaps I suppose we will all be a bit worried. But I mean, I think actors have to play. I mean, they've played murderers and criminals all their lives. So I think it's a. Do you think?
Yes, but a current head of state who's killing lots of people.
Yeah, I honestly don't see. I think it's interesting that he's a very good actor, Jude Law, and I think it's a part that he probably thought, yes, I want to play this.
It's one of those parts that's probably going to get you an Oscar as well.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah.
It's a comedy, though. It's a comedy film, isn't it?
Oh, is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, obviously, I've read the story.
And it hasn't got great reviews. I read a 2-star review this morning.
Yes, a 2-star here in The Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, can you imagine the story? I mean, if suddenly something does happen to Jude, I mean, it would be unbelievable. I mean,
can we just because we're tight for time in this one because of the minister, shadow minister? Can we just, Chris? This is in the Times. It's the Clink Eatery. That could shut up shop, and I feel because as someone who spent a lot of time in prison,
yes, in Porridge,
you must have some.
Well, I think it was a brilliant idea, this, because it gave prisoners something to do and perhaps a new career when they got out of prison. And I think anything like that is wonderful. But of course, there's been a lack of interest and a lack of money, which means that now it's closing down, which I think is very,
shame.
It is very, very sad,
actually.
Because I think it did something for prisoners. It gave them an incentive to do something good.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was marvellous. I wish I'd gone, because in Porridge, I was a cook.
Oh, you were?
I was, the cook, lukewarm.
Yeah. Lukewarm.
Yeah.
Lukewarm.
Dick Clementine in Ian Lefrene's very funny line. No, it was great. It was great. But I think it's unfortunate this is happening.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, because it should be happening more. There should be more professions that they can learn from.
Yeah, and it's so good, isn't it, in terms of discipline and rehabilitation?
Yeah, exactly.
To get into.
Yeah. Just, we've only got about 20 seconds.
Right.
But every time when you mention Porridge and things, I just sometimes find it hard to believe that I'm sat next to you when when you were in... I mean, it was such an iconic piece of classic comedy.
Unbelievable. I mean, it really was. I mean, Ronnie Barker, unbelievable comedy actor, was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you two are fantastic. Dawn and Chris, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next hour.
Right. Here's the weather with Craig.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers, but they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. An incident has closed the A835 near Leckmelm in both directions. Expect delays. On the M49 southbound, an accident between the Avonmouth junction and the M5 causes disruption. In Northamptonshire, the A43 northbound faces lane closures due to an overturned vehicle between the junctions, with the A422 Brackley and the A413 Silverstone. Please divert. A road collision on the M49 near Bristol adds 10 minutes to travel times. And on the trains, disruption is reported between Cleethorpes and Grimsby Town, Theale and Newbury, as well as Ash and Guildford. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Parliament returns today as the Home Secretary pledges to reform the asylum system.
Yes, the government's plan for change includes a promise to clear the backlog of cases and to tighten rules on migrant dependents.
But after a summer of asylum hotel protests, is the government already on the back foot with this?
Yes, Yvette Cooper is trying to seize control of the narrative in Parliament today. But is it too little, too late for a government that seems to be losing control of the public?
A shocking revelation about Queen Camilla as a new book claims that the royal fought off an attempted indecent assault as a teenager. We'll get all the details in full this morning.
People have died, more than 1,000 injured following a deadly earthquake in Afghanistan.
James Bulger's killer, John Venables, could be freed from prison within months after being granted a new parole bid.
£0.7 billion project in limbo. The A5 connects Northern Ireland from Londonderry through Omagh to Ballygawley.
Anger amongst locals as a major motorway project in Northern Ireland is put on hold because of net zero concerns.
More legal action looks to be on the way as compensation offers fall far short that arrived at the weekend. Landowners are angry. We'll have more throughout the programme.
And in sport this morning, a brilliant 35-yard Dominic Szoboszlai free kick sees Liverpool beat Arsenal at Anfield. Some big money deals to be done today, including Alexander Isak finally leaving Newcastle as the transfer window shuts this evening at 7. And VAR problems. Back in the headlines, former chief of referees joins us in about 20 minutes' time.
Good morning. It's the first day of autumn today and the weather certainly feels like it's out there. Actually, for some of us, it's a very wet start for Monday morning. Find out where with me a little later.
It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, let's just kick off with that breaking news, should we? And we now know that at least 622 people are dead following an earthquake in Pakistan, well, on the Pakistan border at least, with Afghanistan in that very mountainous region.
Well, officials have said that houses have been reduced to rubble following that magnitude 6 earthquake. According to reports, the region is mountainous, meaning that information on the earthquake is trickling out slowly. And, of course, rescue efforts are going to be difficult, aren't they, in those sorts of conditions?
Yeah, they really are. I mean, trying to get any rescue into those sort of areas is particularly hard. We also know that information is going to be slow coming, so that 622 death toll, very sadly, could well rise. We don't know what sort of whether it's a particularly populated area or not, but clearly it's been devastating with those buildings absolutely flattened. We don't know quite where the epicentre was or quite how far it's spread, but clearly it's significant. And with it being 6, you would actually expect significant aftershocks as well. So that's going to be a huge concern, not only for the people there, but also for the rescue teams moving in.
Well, there was an earthquake in Afghanistan 2 years ago, which was 6.3 magnitude. And in that, the Taliban government in Afghanistan said that 4,000 people were killed. So it does look as though this is going to be a very powerful earthquake that's hit Afghanistan, with aftershocks expected as well. The government today has said that they think 600 people have been killed. 1,500 people have been injured as it hit the Pakistan border there. Several villages have been completely destroyed, and that's come from the Public Health Ministry in Afghanistan.
Keep you up to date with more details as and when we get them. But in the meantime, Parliament's back at work today. Been on recess for a good few weeks, of course, and it looks like it could be a very busy week in Westminster.
Yes, the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, is set to launch a new plan for change in order to overhaul the asylum system and stop the use of migrant hotels by the end of 2029.
Now, changes include migrants being, well, asylum seekers who have been granted asylum, whether legally or illegally, in that sense, we're not quite clear, but being required to prove they have sufficient funds before family members join them in Britain, as well as tighter rules on English language requirements.
Well, GB News' political correspondent Olivia Utley joins us now from Westminster. Very good morning to you, Olivia, and talk us through the plans as we understand them, and do you think they're going to work?
So this is a many-pronged approach that Yvette Cooper is going to be laying out in the House of Commons today. She will start by talking about the one-in, one-out policy, that policy to swap migrants, essentially. For each migrant that is deported to France, France will take back we will take in one migrant legally who has arrived from France. Now, that policy, 100 migrants who have come over will be deported, but of course, thousands have arrived in the meantime. So perhaps it's not working exactly how the Home Secretary was envisaging. She will also talk about Labour's plan to smash the gangs. Apparently 347 gangs have been intercepted by the National Crime Agency, and Yvette Cooper will say that has dented the supply of boats that people smugglers are using to get migrants over from France. But the crux of the speech is going to be about reforms to the right to a family life rules. What is happening at the moment is migrants who come here illegally are claiming under the...
Oh, looks as though we lost Olivia.
We've lost Olivia there momentarily. Here, Olivia, I don't know what happened there. We faded you out. Let's see if we can fade you back in again.
Thank you. So at the moment, what's happening is that migrants who are coming over here are claiming in the courts that they need a right to a family life. That is something that is allowed under the European Court of Human Rights, that very controversial legislative body that lots of MPs say that it is time for the UK to leave. Now, lots of those claims are actually being upheld. 1/3 of those claims, specifically on the grounds of a right to a family life, are being upheld under exceptional circumstances. Now, what Yvette Cooper is essentially saying is that it is not possible, almost by definition, that 1/3 of these cases can be exceptional. And what she believes, and what the government believes, is that judges are over-interpreting Article 8, that right to a family life clause in the European Court of Human Rights. And what that means is that all sorts of cases are being upheld when they shouldn't be upheld. And we've heard stories about, someone coming over and claiming that their second cousin 3 times removed is here and they must be with that person, and essentially being allowed to stay in the UK because of that. Now, Yvette Cooper, obviously she cannot change the legislation under the European Court of Human Rights. She can't rip that up unless the government decides that it's time for the UK to leave or withdraw temporarily from that court, and that's something that the government is not planning on doing. But what she can do is issue guidance to judges, and that's what she's going to be talking about today. She can tell judges, we think you are over-interpreting this right to a family life clause, and we're going to tighten up those requirements. And so, according to her, now people who come over to the UK claiming a right to a family life will need to prove that they can speak English, for example. The problem is that this might not wash with the courts. Those asylum seekers are likely to try for an appeal, perhaps with the High Court, the Supreme Court, and there is a precedent for that appeal to be accepted. Already some right to a family life cases which have been dismissed by the government have then been upheld in the Court of Appeal. So it's a nice idea from Yvette Cooper, but will it play out in the courts?
I mean, a lot of people, though, may look at this, and it's about reading the room, isn't it? Because with the best will in the world, it's tinkering around the edges, isn't it? And you only have to listen to Chris Philp, who we had on the show, half an hour or so ago, saying, what they want, what the Tories are saying they want to see is the minute you step foot on this shore illegally, you are rounded up and shipped off. Never mind all this, trying to appeal to judges and get them to interpret the law slightly differently or what have you. They're saying, we'll pick you up and ship you off.
Well, I think this is going to be exactly the problem for Yvette Cooper. Both the Conservatives and Reform have come up with much, much more radical ideas for getting migrants to stop coming to the UK. And this will look like, as you say, sort of tinkering around the edges. The other problem, of course, for Yvette Cooper is this is only about migrants who are going to come here from now on. And, of course, that backlog of migrants already over here is absolutely enormous. For the last 2 years, the average time that it's taken for an asylum claimant's decision, the decision for whether or not they can stay in the UK to either be dismissed or upheld, has been 372 days. So you've got, as we've seen, those images of migrants coming here in their boatloads every single day. If you imagine that it takes over a year on average, and of course that is just an average, some cases take much, much longer. All of those people are already here in the UK. So what is to be done about them? It is possible that that these plans from Yvette Cooper might slightly sort of stem that tide of migrants coming over here now. But there will be many people in the House of Commons today, I think a few of them on the Labour benches as well, who will be thinking, but what are we going to do about the people who were already over here? Isn't this just a little bit too little too late?
Yep, good point. Olivia Otley, thank you very much.
Right. We know the news can be a bit depressing sometimes. There's a lot to get your head round at the moment, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So how about giving you something really, really nice to consider?
Yeah, how about a new Great British giveaway? It's actually our biggest prize to date, worth over £104,000. So how does it stack up?
Well, 30 grand in your back pocket. How about that?
Nice.
Tax-free. Plus a 4-berth motorhome worth more than £74,000. Here's Hayley with the details.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof light, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For a chance to win the motorhome and cash, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Now let's get a check on the weather with Craig Snell.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers, but they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, a revelation about the Queen has been published in a new royal book being serialised in The Times.
Well, the book is Valentine Lowe's Power and the Palace, and it claims a teenage Camilla was the survivor of an attempted indecent assault.
Well, the man with all the details is our very own royal correspondent, Cameron Walker. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to say, I mean, it's fascinating that this has come out so many decades on, but it paints Camilla in such a good light, I think. Strong, determined, standing up for herself.
Yeah, I think it does, and also not taking the spotlight away from victims and survivors of sexual assault, which was far more serious perhaps in this instance. So this dates back decades, probably the late 1960s, where the Queen was on a train, obviously way before she was a member of the royal family, to London Paddington Station, and a man attempted to assault her on a train. And instead of, you know, she fought off, she fought back, she took off her heel and did what her mother told her and hit the guy in the nuts, as was quoted in the book. I'm sure I can say that on breakfast TV. Anyway, when she got off the... Well, I've done it now. When she got off the train, she went straight to a uniformed police officer, told him what had happened, and the man was arrested. So she was to make sure that he couldn't assault any other women. And I think the reason... Well, I don't know why the reason it's come out now, but I don't think Camilla wanted to talk about this. This isn't her putting it out there. And I think the reason for that is she, as I said, she doesn't really want to take the spotlight away from the work she does with survivors of domestic abuse, with survivors of rape and sexual assault.
And I can understand that. However, I think what this does is shines a spotlight on the work that she does, actually. Yeah. It gives her a chance, it highlights the fact that she does work with these people who suffered serious assaults, serious abuse, and it just shows that she's got an insight, at least, into some of the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, she's got an insight. I understand it's not her motivation as to why she decided to support victims of this kind of thing, and of course this work spans decades, and when her profile was growing as a working member of the royal family, she could have chosen to talk about her own experience, but she didn't. She wanted the spotlight to remain firmly on those who have suffered far more assaults than she has. And I think that's what's going to continue. And I think the reason why, you know, there's been no denial. I think this probably did happen. And what it has done is put a spotlight back on domestic abuse, on survivors of rape and sexual assault. And now we're talking about it, and it still continues. And I think that's the kind of power of the royal family.
And that's what's so important, isn't it? Because there is such a culture of silence around these sorts of incidents. And also this sense that perhaps it's just part of a female's experience growing up in the world. So I think actually to talk about it, and for us even to have a conversation now, is really powerful.
Absolutely, and the fact that it was the future Queen who was a survivor of this kind of indecent assault. And as you say, Ellie, a lot of this stuff can sometimes be brushed under the carpet. You see it particularly on public transport, people being assaulted or attempted to be assaulted. And it is continuing in 2025. This instance happened in the late 1960s, and still in 2025, women and some men are experiencing very similar issues, and it's shining a spotlight back on it, and we're talking about it now on national television.
Yeah, as you say, the power of the royals, and I'm very pleased to know that she took her heels off and fought back.
She did.
Her mother taught
well. She did, yeah. Indeed.
I think that's something to be saluted, I really do. Cameron?
Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, it takes guts, doesn't it? Good on her.
Well, it does. She was clearly determined, and quite right too. And then went saw a good old police officer. Absolutely right. Well, this one, they were police officers in train stations back then.
Yeah, you probably couldn't find one now.
Back in the olden days.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, there's uproar in Northern Ireland over a road which is causing chaos for many farmers.
More trouble for the A5.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Thank you, Sam. Now from one Iceman to another, because British ultramarathon swimmer Ross Edgley is currently undertaking an astonishing 1,000-mile swim around Iceland after being inspired by the Thor character and the actor Chris Hemsworth. Well, this challenge, described as the Great Icelandic Swim, is expected to take about 3 months. And it's seen Ross swim already for 6 hours and then rest for 6 hours in a continuous cycle of torture. Now, along the way, he has faced challenging conditions, including rough waters, killer whales and freezing temperatures. I'm delighted to say I'm now joined by the Iceman, the British Thor, Ross Edgley, live from Iceland. Ross, it's an absolute delight to have you, and I'm just delighted to get a connection to Iceland. Sometimes we struggle to get people here in London. Listen, mate, you sound like an absolute man-mountain. What on earth drove you towards this epic challenge?
Oh, thanks, Martin. Yeah, it was, like I said, I was joking with Chris because I just love Icelandic folklore, the sagas, mythology. And we just said, look, swimming around Iceland, it'd be the closest thing to Asgard that you could possibly do. So it was kind of, it started as a semi-joke. And then 3 months later, here we are, 800 miles in, lost parts of my tongue, a lot of chafing around my shoulders and stuff. But we were still going, 200 miles left, home straight is in sight.
So we're doing it for charity? What's behind it?
It's exactly that, Martin. Yeah, so all the way we're going around, we're working with scientists to collect eDNA samples, so they're environmental DNA samples. So it just means that anything in the water, whether it's a minke whale, an orca, a Ross Edgley, anything, it leaves behind a sample. And so by collecting all of these samples, what we're going to be left with is this incredible map of biodiversity around Iceland in a level of detail we've never seen before. So what's amazing, scientists said, look, if someone is crazy enough to try and swim around it, this could be really valuable for us.
GB News.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off-limits. You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Now, a major motorway project in Northern Ireland is on hold because of climate concerns.
Yes, the A5 has long been considered a dangerous stretch of road, but farmers say interfering with their land is not the solution.
Well, our Northern Ireland reporter, Doogie Beattie, has all the details.
A £1.7 billion project in limbo. The A5 connects Northern Ireland from Londonderry through Omagh to Ballygawley. But its future is in doubt after a court ruled the construction did not meet climate change targets set by politicians in Stormont. Locals have called for upgrades on what they say is a confusing roadway. More than 50 people have died on the A5 since 2005, and heavy goods and agricultural vehicles only add to the dangers. Properties and farming land were vested by Stormont for the construction, a decision that has locals angered and left in the dark without compensation. Neville Robinson is one of the affected, whose farmland was made redundant for nearly a year.
On the 25th of November, the government vested this, so basically put me out of business. That's almost 250 odd days ago.
While Neville supports the project, he says it has now cost him over £30,000 this year.
They have yet to tell me how much I'm going to get. They have yet to say there's money for you. They haven't told me how much they're giving me. They haven't told me will they replace the chicken house. So we're sitting in a limbo at the minute. We don't really know who owns the house.
Ulster Unionist Party Deputy Leader Robbie Butler is the chair of the Agricultural Committee, firmly placing the blame on civil servants for the lack of departmental communication.
What hasn't happened here is there's been no oversight of the project, there's been no interdepartmental working, and I would ask questions of perhaps the permanent secretaries to understand exactly what their joint ambitions have been, not just for public safety, but for the very viability of our farming and agri-industry in that area.
In a department letter seen by GB News, sent to those affected, it says as of the 27th of June, land has been returned to owners, and the department will now seek to agree reasonable costs for the reinstatement of vested lands. Stormont's Infrastructure Minister Liz Kimmins is set to appeal the High Court's decision, but upgrades to the A5 remain on a road to nowhere. Dougie Beattie, GB News, Ballygawley.
Well, Dougie joins us now. And Dougie, do you think that legal action could be on the way?
Well, most definitely, because since that we put that report together on Saturday, we now have sight of the compensation that has been offered to landowners and homeowners in this area, and it is tragic. That particular chicken shed that we were talking about there is worth £500,000, and the government has offered £4,000 in compensation and have added insult to injury by asking the farmer would he continue to rent that chicken shed to them, and they would obviously pay for it. The cost that they are putting forward is £10 per day. Now, you wouldn't park a car in Belfast for £10 per day, never mind a 1,000-feet chicken shed, which really brings about £30,000 to £40,000 profit to that farmer per year. But it's not just that farmer. There are many other farmers here and landowners have lost 30, 40, 50 acres of land, upwards of £100,000 gone in revenue coming in. We've spoke to house owners who have been told to go and get a bridging loan in the last year to replace their house, and a bridging loan is one of the most expensive loans that you could ever have. And really what's going on here is the Department of Infrastructure was told they could go ahead at risk because the legislation that the Northern Ireland Assembly passed on climate change was not compatible with building roads. They were told it at the time and continued to go ahead, and now they have left the taxpayer in Northern Ireland so far with a bill of about 120 million, and a further court action is now seen, and they actually have to reinstate that land. It will be 200 million for a road that is going absolutely nowhere. This is scandalous. The people of Northern Ireland are asking the question of what the civil service is actually doing, and are they communicating with one another, and at what cost to their pocket. So real problems for the A5 at this minute in time, because our Minister McKimmons has actually put in an appeal, which means this land will be vested once more. Homeowners unsure, farmers unsure, and remember that the biggest sector in Northern Ireland is the agri-food sector, and the Ulster Farmers Union is asking of what wisdom the civil service has of dealing with their biggest business.
OK, Dougie Beattie there for us in Ballygawley. Thank you very much.
Right, at 8:29, if you are travelling to work this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A83 at Butterbridge is shut both directions due to weather-related debris. Motorists should use alternate routes and expect longer travel times. On M25, a broken-down vehicle between Junction 29 and Junction 30 in Thurrock leaves one of 4 lanes unavailable. In Kent, congestion on the A2 westbound between M2 and A226, O Junction results in 30-minute delays. Please allow extra travel time. And on the trains, there is disruption on Great Western Railway between Theale and Newbury and between Ash and Guildford. Northern buses replace trains between Corkickle and Whitehaven. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Still to come, all the sport with Paul, who's got a very special guest.
Well, there's VAR problems at the moment. You know, there's VAR problems with what happened over the weekend. The former chief of referees, Keith Hackett, will be with us to discuss in detail.
Very good.
In great detail.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's Sports Time with Paul Coyte. It's a busy day today.
The transfer window slams shut at 7 o'clock.
It does.
Is there going to be lots of big deals going on? What do you think?
Don't know what's going on with... I don't know about what's going to happen with Isak.
I think it's going to happen.
Do you?
It looks like the deal is done. Alexander Isak, Newcastle striker, hasn't played this season because he refuses to play. He won't play.
He's on strike.
Yeah, pretty much. And wants to go to Liverpool, so it looks like the deal is done. 125. You can remove the sunglasses now, Alexander. It's fine. 125 million quid. Having his medical today at Liverpool. 6-year deal. We expect that to be done. A few other names, very briefly. Emiliano Martinez, so Emi Martinez, the Aston Villa goalkeeper who didn't play yesterday in their 3-0 loss that they had against Crystal Palace. Could be going to Manchester United. Seems likely because their two goalkeepers have been a little wobbly, and so he's the Argentinian goalkeeper, so a World Cup winner as well, so he looks like he's going to go to Manchester United, although Man City need a goalkeeper too. Yohan Wissa wants out of Brentford. He's put a tweet out, and he's been on social media saying that how desperately he wants to leave, and they're holding him to his contract, so he looks like he'll probably go. Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea striker, who was going to Bayern Munich. He's in Munich, but now Chelsea want him back again because of the injury that happened to Rory Delap. So it looks like he's gone and he's back again. And Mark Gay, he's the other one, Crystal Palace captain. It's said that Oliver Glasner, the manager of Crystal Palace, desperately wants him to stay. So hopefully, that's Wissa, so hopefully we will expect him to stay, which is going to be good news for Crystal Palace fans. The other thing is VAR. Now, we had some VAR problems over the weekend. Again, you know, it always seems to be worse here than anywhere else. So anywhere else always seems to be bad. But there was a terrible decision at Chelsea versus Fulham, which we will discuss and see what's going on, because the PGMOL, who are like the overseeing body of referees, have said, yes, they made a mistake. So anyway, let's speak to the former head of referees at the PGMOL, Keith Hackett. Morning, Keith. Great to see you. How are you?
Good morning, Paul.
It seems that you're only on when there's trouble, but there is trouble again. What did you make now on what happened then with Fulham against Chelsea? It seemed to be a wonderful move, and then everything was thrown up in the air. It was Trevor Chalobah, was it? Rodrigo Muniz does this great spin. It said that he trod on Chalobah's foot as the ball was sent away. Wasn't his fault, and also it was said that it was a challenge, a careless challenge. It wasn't even a challenge. So anyway, it seems that they've gone back on what they said. What did you make, and what's going on, Keith?
Well, it's a fiasco, Paul. I mean, every fan, I think most managers, players just wonder what is happening, because at this moment in time, a technical product that is supposed to improve the decision-making process is impacting on our game in a very, very negative manner. And this weekend, they tried to cover up. They said it was a careless challenge, hence the referee had got it right. But anybody who has an ounce of knowledge in football terms knows that the player spun. He's got to put his foot anywhere. He's not made a challenge.
It wasn't even a challenge.
No, and a good goal ruled out. That's what fans pay for. That's what managers train their players for, to score goals. And VAR is ruling them out. It's a disaster.
And the thing is, as far as Fulham are concerned, you know, it's not just the goal being ruled out, but the fact that they would have gone 1-0 up and then the whole game would have changed. Who knows what would have happened? So they're going to be really unhappy about it. We've got Scott Parker, of course, a great player and the manager of Burnley, has said this as well, and he's saying it could turn into the most sterile game there is. The bottom line, Keith, is, I mean, I was originally a fan. It's down to the people, not down to the cameras. The fact the proof is there, it's just the way it's been interpreted. Do we keep it, or do we just get rid of it?
Well, I'm for technology.
Me too.
But at the moment, I'm on the side of get rid of it. However, I think there might be a stepping stone that they may consider. La Liga, at this moment in time, are experimenting with their third tier of football and women's league by introducing a 2 challenge. So managers can make 2 challenges. If they succeed, they keep the challenge. And I think we should be moving in that direction, because at the moment, everything is wrong about this piece of technology and the people who are operating it.
It's such a shame. I just want you to get your whistle out. Get yourself back on the pitch. It's not been the same since you walked away, Keith. Listen, it's good to see you. Thanks a lot for your time, as always. Always appreciate it.
Cheers, Paul.
Thanks a lot. That's it. There you go. Keep it, get rid of it. It's technology, you need to have it, but it's just the way people are looking at it just seems to be wrong. It's just, it surely isn't that difficult, but seems to be so many mistakes.
You wouldn't have thought so. Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Oh, by the way, transfer window, I am available at a very cheap price.
Oh, a couple of million?
Yeah, I reckon.
Something like that. Thanks, Coity. Do stay with us. Still to come, we'll be going through the papers of Christopher Biggins and Dawn Neeson. That's just after the European weather.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. It's remaining unsettled across parts of Central Europe as we go for the next few days. Either side, plenty of dry and sunny weather to be had. There could be a few showers on Tuesday across parts of the Canaries, but still plenty of dry and fine weather to be had. And for much of Iberia, actually, plenty of sunshine around. But then we come back into the risk of some severe thunderstorms across parts of Italy and southern France. But then for much of Greece and Turkey, it's back to the sunshine with temperatures in places here reaching the low 30s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Are you as surprised as many no doubt watching this show that the career of Meghan Markle seems to have risen like a phoenix?
Oh, well, you talk about ashes, but I think we have to accept that it is us, the media, who created those ashes. There was no statement from Harry and Meghan and no indication at any point. But we all decided that the Netflix deal was dead in the water. So it's one in the eye, actually, to all her detractors. Cameron summed the whole thing up very, very well, though I have to say that he kind of spoke about all these projects, but if you analyse it, it's one show that's in the can already, that's her lifestyle show. There's a holiday special about Christmas, and then there's the Ugandan documentary, but Harry is mentioned in that only as one of many producers, quite a long way down, actually, and Meghan is also mentioned there. And the rest of it is all very, very vague what's going to happen, but the fact of the matter is, they have won, Meghan has won, and we have to eat humble pie.
Do you think there's something in now, this hierarchy has been flipped? It was the royal prince who was the box office, he was the trouser wearer, if you like, in this relationship in terms of public profile. Suddenly, it's Meghan Markle, as you say, who could be the angel on top of the tree. Prince Harry languishing down there as something, I don't know, a bit of an inconsequential elf.
Yeah, but I think he has realised that perhaps television isn't his forte. You know, producing television programmes is really not as easy as he might have thought. And he's far better not on the celebrity treadmill or the production treadmill. He's much better using his name for his campaigns. And I think that he is going to be going in that direction with just a little foot in the Netflix camp from time to time.
GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
They're still doing that, the one with
Going through the papers of GB News presenter Dawn Neeson and the actor Christopher Biggins. Morning, you two.
Oh, dear, I love the in-between bits on the show.
Yes.
Oh, they're very good.
Very naughty. Christopher, is it too early to talk about Christmas?
Well, it's we're talking. I know what you're talking about. This is a woman who ho home and dry for Christmas already.
She's got it all wrapped up, hasn't she?
Yeah, £2,000 worth of gifts all set to go under the tree. Now, I sympathise with this woman because I don't know if you know, but I do pantomime every year.
You do?
And I have been doing it for the last...
Like a day.
Nothing like it, absolutely. 50-odd years I've been doing it. And this year I'm going to Birmingham, to the Hippodrome, to do Robin Hood. Not playing Robin Hood, but anyway. So you don't get... When you do a pantomime, it's full on. So there's no time to do Christmas shopping. So I collect things all year. And I put them in the spare bedroom, and I then wrap them as well when I think about doing it, and it saves an enormous amount of pressure at Christmas.
That's very organised for you, Big.
It is, because, you know, that I admire people who go out to the Christmas Eve and buy all their presents.
Oh, so it's hellish. It's hellish.
Have you done that?
I have done it once or twice, yeah.
Oh, dear.
So you have to buy for so many people, the dog, the cat, your partner. I mean, honestly...
It's never ending.
Never ending.
I mean, look, I'm very jealous of women like this, to be honest.
See, I've tried stockpiling before, and then when it comes to Christmas Eve, I'd get everything out thinking I've got loads and loads and loads. And I feel like I haven't got enough, and then I end up panic buying.
I like the whole festive period. It's my birthday 2 weeks before Christmas, so I like doing the shopping when the trees are up and the lights are out, and it's like, you know, proper Christmas vibe to it. It just feels wrong doing it so far in advance.
So you're Sagittarius?
Yeah.
What day do you? I'm the 16th.
I'm just before you. I'm the 11th.
Oh.
That's my granny's birthday.
I know.
That's a nice date. Yeah. Do you like to shop physically in person in the shops, or do you do it online?
Normally, all year round, I absolutely loathe shopping, absolutely loathe it with a passion. But I do like Christmas shopping. I like buying stuff for other people.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you? And toys for your husband.
And toys for my husband. Yeah, we were talking about Christmas toys as well, weren't we, earlier on?
Yeah.
And the thing I was saying to Biggins is about sort of like buying toys for grown men.
Yes.
But my husband is at that age now where he's reliving his past, and I want to buy him the little toys he couldn't afford when he was a kid.
So what sort of toys are we talking?
Little cars he couldn't... Not that. No, don't go back to that conversation.
What, like
the little cars he couldn't afford when he was a little
rods.
boy. There were little Tonka toys, and
Yeah,
he couldn't
hot
afford
rods.
them when he was a kid. He had second
Is it Hot Wheels?
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. Hot rods.
Hot rods.
Hot Wheels.
Carry on up GB News breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
Hot rods are the big racing cars, aren't they? Yeah.
Very big.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Which context, Stephen?
Hot Wheels is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, dear.
We knew what you were thinking of.
Sticking with the Christmas theme, Dawn.
Yeah.
Mince pies. Is it too early for mince pies? 4 months out?
Oh, it's never too early for mincing, is it, boys? The supermarkets have been slammed by angry shoppers after running a sale on mince pies 4 months before Christmas. Sorry, I can't do this. Morrison's and Sainsbury's have already put traditional festive treats on the shelves, and they are on sale now. Well, it's not... I mean, they put them on sale at the beginning of summer, and
They'll be out of date by Christmas.
They're in danger of going out of date, which is why
They've got quite long sell-bys, actually, haven't they?
Yeah, but you can also...
Yeah, because mince...
You can also buy them and put them in the freezer.
Mince really lasts a long time. It doesn't
does.
go off, does it? The mince here and the mince there.
Never goes off in your world, does it, Biggie?
No, but I think, you know, I like hot crust buns before Easter.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a great... I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and I like a cabbage cream egg all year round.
Oh, now you're talking dirty.
We're expected to scoff millions of the fruity faves before the end of November.
I don't really like a mince pie unless it's a homemade one. I don't know why.
No, I agree.
It's so much nicer.
I've got a girlfriend who makes... the pastry, her pastry is fantastic.
Oh, love it. And are they bite-sized, like little...
Yeah, absolutely,
Bite-sized,
bite-sized. We like a bite-size.
Yeah, it's the best way forward. I like the fact we're talking about stuff which is a bit light-hearted this hour, because it's nice. It's nice to have a break.
It's a Monday morning, come on.
In the sun, Chris.
Yes.
Who are the best people to be bilingual?
Why, they're Geordies, according to the paper. I suppose...
Why am I surprised at this?
Well, I don't think I'm surprised at all, because I think they have a sort of guttural sound to their language, the Geordies, don't they? I mean, you know, it's sort of Germanish. So I think they probably are very good. Well, according to this, Sun?
Yeah, 67% of people in Paul Gascoigne's northeast homeland said they spoke at least a little bit of a foreign language, which just beats Yorkshire folk, who have 66% say they speak a foreign language.
It's a lot of people.
Blimey.
Yeah, good on
Same with English, to be honest with you. It's
What are
really
they
impressive.
speaking, Dawn, does it say? What are they speaking? Spanish?
It's not specific about the language. It's a foreign European language.
All right.
The biggest languages to learn now in schools are Spanish and Mandarin.
Yeah.
Mandarin?
Mandarin's really
Yeah.
big.
And I think that's quite useful, isn't it, when you think about what's going to happen in the future?
Yeah.
And
Arabic.
Arabic. Arabic is quite
Arabic,
popular. Yeah.
But I don't know how you'd learn all of that.
No, I couldn't.
It's so difficult.
Do you know a language?
French and Spanish.
Oh, quite good.
I can get by.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, but I
What,
can
so you
get
can
by.
order in French?
I can order and I can understand at least sort of 50% of what's said back to me.
I can't do any language. All I do is, when I go abroad, is speak very loudly. In English.
Accent?
What?
Do you put a little accent?
No, just my own accent. Why would I put an accent on?
It's posh enough.
Lots of
Exactly.
people put on an accent and just hope for the best. Put on a little French accent.
Well, you mean they talk like that?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know?
No, I don't talk like that because I think it's an insult.
Well, yeah, probably is.
No, I say, I'd like another coffee, please. Cappuccino.
And does it get you by?
Yo, they love it.
I bet they do. Right, let's go from the northeast to Scotland, Dawn.
Why? On a serious political note, the papers today, front page of the Daily Star, Look Nessie official new sighting. It's the best that's been seen in 30 years. We're talking the Loch Ness Monster. It's been a quiet summer, to be fair. Official recorders said a 2-minute clip of something lurking in the water has been sent in by a local. This is official Loch Ness Monster sightings register. There's a thing, and it's the best sighting in at least 3 months. So either Ness
in 3 months.
Either Ness has been on holiday, or it's not real.
It's breeding season.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, evidently it's been spotted.
So I'm looking at the picture.
Yeah, and
the footage from a local filmed in Loch End. It circled something on the water. I can't see what it is.
To be honest, it looks like every Nessie picture ever. It looks like a wave. It really has been the.
It doesn't look like anything. Actually, I'm quite disappointed
It just looks
with that.
like a ripple in the water.
Yeah.
Oh.
In any case, it's.
See, I believe in Nessie.
So do I. I agree.
Why am I not surprised?
We love a Nessie.
We do. But she's down there somewhere.
Yes. Do you believe in fairies as well?
Yes, always believed in fairies.
Santa Claus?
Have you?
I used to write to my fairy, yeah.
Did you?
Really?
We all
Of
have
course, you have
fairies.
to believe in Santa Claus. Don't be ridiculous,
Yeah,
Dawn.
of course, yeah, no, absolutely.
Now,
and the Easter Bunny is real too.
You didn't know about Rent-A-Ghost, did you? I've heard.
Just,
I mean,
before my time begins.
yeah, it's very sad. Did you Thunderbirds? Are they before your
yeah,
time?
I love the Thunderbirds, yeah.
They're the same
They're
age as
constant
me.
repeat.
They're still
Yeah.
fabulous. And how old are they now?
The same age as
60
me.
years old.
60 years old.
It's unbelievable. Did you like Thunderbirds?
Yeah, so you know, obviously Blue Peter. So I used to watch Blue Peter every evening, and I made a Tracy Island model.
Did you?
Thunderbirds, yeah.
Have you still got it?
Probably, yeah, my parents' house. Yeah, I probably do, somewhere.
I bet you can do a really good Parker impression, can't you, Biggie?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But I did find it dull, I have to
dull.
say. Yeah, I wasn't enamoured with it. I think it was because it was so stilted.
Well,
The puppets
There
were
were
sort
wooden
of...
puppets. What were you expecting?
No, but I think, nowadays it's so sophisticated, all those sort of programmes. And it's there, I took a lot of imagination to believe the whole thing. Miss Penelope.
She was my favourite.
Well, she was very much my favourite too. I wanted to be Miss Penelope.
I still love her outfits.
Yeah. You're wearing them now.
Well, you are.
I style myself on Lady P.
I always felt sorry for the one who was stuck up in the space station.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He never,
No, didn't do anything.
Poor lad, I don't know.
Was that Virgil? Was he the one stuck up?
No.
The geeky one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I have to admit, I always preferred Stingray. Sorry.
Yeah, I love Stingray.
No.
I thought it was more interesting.
Yeah.
No, I loved Thunderbirds, but there was just something about it, and you couldn't. I don't even think you could reproduce it now because kids expect something.
Of course they do.
But there was just something magical about it somehow, and it is still going strong. I mean, there is always repeats going on and things, isn't there?
That's nostalgia as well, isn't it? Now everyone thinks back to their childhood. 6 million viewers it used to have.
Yeah.
Regularly pulling them in as well.
I mean,
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, because there was only one channel back then, wasn't there?
Yes, that's true.
Which Biggins was on constantly.
Well, it was. He was. I mean, things like you see every now and then, don't you, the original puppets and things sort of go on either on display or up for auction and things.
And it fetch a fortune.
Oh,
Well, they would do, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Absolute fortune.
Absolutely iconic.
It's part of people's childhood as well, isn't it? It's incredible.
Which I think is very important. I think that's, it's important that our childhoods are like that.
And we hold on to our heritage.
Yes,
We
we
were
do.
talking earlier on about the Christmas present, the giraffe that does a poo.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I had a tiny tears that did wheeze.
Well,
back in the 60s.
That's how you turned out how you have, Dawn. Thanks very much indeed.
Yes, thanks, Dawn.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today, it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers. But they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M77 at Junction 1 is restricted northbound due to a road traffic incident. Motorists should proceed with caution and expect longer travel times. On the link road between the M42 Junction 7 northbound and the M6 Junction 4 northbound, a broken down vehicle is delaying traffic. In Northamptonshire, an accident with an overturned vehicle on the A43 northbound between the junctions with the A422 Brackley and the A413 Silverstone has closed one lane. In Solihull district, delays continue at the M42 northbound exit slip at junction 7 due to another broken down vehicle. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. Parliament returns today as the Home Secretary pledges to reform the asylum system.
Yes, the government's plan for change includes a promise to clear the backlog of cases and tighten rules on migrant dependents.
But after a summer of asylum hotel protests, is the government already on the back foot? This is what Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp thinks.
What the government are doing today is simply tinkering around the edges. They don't seem to recognise we have a full-blown migration crisis on our hands.
Yes, Yvette Cooper is attempting to seize control of the asylum narrative with a speech in Parliament today. But critics say her proposals are too little, too late. Find out more with me very soon.
Party conference. Season begins with a bang. One of Reform UK's biggest names look ahead to their Birmingham event later this week.
A shocking revelation about the Queen as a new book claims the royal fought off an attempted indecent assault as a teenager. We'll get all the details.
The new school term starts this week, but after the Education Secretary admitted that working class pupils have been failed, is the government failing a generation of blue-collar pupils? We'll be debating that this morning.
Good morning. It's the first day of autumn today and the weather certainly feels like it's out there. Actually, for some of us, it's a very wet start for Monday morning. Find out where with me a little later.
Just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Just fascinated that we were just hearing about pets at home. We've been talking about cats and dogs and also it's all been all in the news this morning for various reasons. But what do you call your pets? Mine have always had very traditional names.
They have, to be fair.
You know, growing up we had Charlie and Patience. Pippa,
what were Charlie and Patience?
They were cats.
Oh, right, okay.
And Marmalade, who was a ginger cat, and Smokey, who was a grey cat.
Great names.
And we had Pippa, a rabbit.
Great name for a rabbit.
Rosalind, the guinea pig.
Classy.
Anyway, what about you? Because you don't want to I don't care about mine, it's yours I care about.
So we had lots of guinea pigs growing up, actually. We started practically a farm, a small holding in the garden. But the first 2 guinea pigs I was in charge of naming, and they were girl guinea pigs. And obviously, being a child from Essex, I named them Angel and Babe. And then my brother, so Angel was my one, and my brother's guinea pig was called Babe. And then I said, if you like, you can give Babe a middle name to make it more manly. So he landed on, it was Angel and Babe Spike.
Babe Spike.
full name terms, yeah. Angel and Babe Spike, so there you are. That's the guinea pig names.
I love it. Do it in the accent again.
Angel and Babe Spike.
Love it.
That's the way it went down, yeah.
Love it.
And our director this morning, Archie, I can't say it on air, can I? No, I can't.
Oh, he's got it already.
He's already got it. He's got tortoise for his birthday. Called what?
Ted.
Ted.
But they don't know
tortoise.
They don't know what sex it is. So she said in our ears, well, it's all right, because if it's a girl, we can call it Teddy. But that's a boy's name.
No, that could be short for, like, Theodora.
Oh, well, it could be.
So there you go.
Don't tell Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, honestly. Yeah, so there you go. Teddy is now a girl's name, apparently.
I think it's a huge responsibility to name a pet for their children. I think it's very difficult.
Yes.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Let us know what you think. Send us in your pet names this morning, gbnews.com/you'll say. We'll try and share as many as we can before 9:30.
Right, summary's over. But, well, sort of, in another 21 days. Parliament is returning today from recess, and it is going to be a busy week in Westminster.
Yes, the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, is set to launch a new plan for change in order to overhaul the asylum system and stop the use of migrant hotels by the end of 2029.
Well, the changes include migrants being required to prove they have sufficient funds before family members can join them in Britain, as well as tighter rules on English language requirements.
Well, Early Education Minister Stephen Morgan joins us now. Very good morning to you, Mr Morgan. And can we start by asking you about these plans? Because they sound good in theory, don't they? That people would have enough money to support themselves and their family before they get a visa here in Britain. And also have strict English language requirements, which would help with integration. But how's this going to stand up in the courts? How's this going to stand up under the ECHR, which we know so much about? I mean, the right to a family life, this is going to be very easily appealed, isn't it?
Well, good morning, both. And I know that you'll want to know that my pet is called Albert, so that might answer one of your first questions. But Yvette Cooper will set out more details this afternoon, but we're really clear that we inherited an asylum system in chaos, and we want to bring order to that system and fairness and balance. So Yvette Cooper will set out details later today, but we want to see reform in the ECHR. We think that's really important to bring down the levels of migration that we've seen coming into our country. Good progress has been made to date. 35,000 people have been deported with no right to remain in the UK. As you'll know, we're committed to ending the use of asylum hotels. We've already seen a reduction in the cost of those hotels from nearly £9 million a day to just over £5 million a day. But more work is required, and Yvette Cooper will be setting out more details later today.
The problem is you've got a pretty angry population that you're responsible for now, Minister. And as Chris Philp, the Shadow Home Secretary, told us this morning, and a lot of people would agree with him when he says we have a full-blown migration crisis, and this is tinkering around the edges.
I mean, the rank hypocrisy of what the Shadow Home Secretary said will not go unnoticed by your viewers. 14 years they had to solve some of these issues, and they presided over a chaotic system. We're working really hard to bring about the change that the British public voted for. As I said, 35,000 deported with no right to remain in the UK. We've sped up the asylum decision-making process by 28%. We've increased the number of countries that we work with on the Deport Now, Appeal Later up from 8 to over 20. So action is being taken, but we will go further and faster, as the Home Secretary will set out later today.
Well, yes, except as he pointed out, you know, under the last 9 months of the last administration, the number of migrant hotels went from 400 to just over 200, and since you've been in power, we've seen an 8% increase in illegal migrants in hotels.
Well, we've also seen a reduction in the number of people in each of those hotels. And, yeah, I absolutely recognise the frustrations of the British public, and there's much more we need to do. And that's why we will do that with international partners. Look at what we're doing in terms of a deterrent, working closely with the French, and all the interventions that we are making to prevent small boat crossings. So we need to also look at the appeals process as well to make that a fairer system. So a range of things to do on complex issues to bring about the change that we're committed to delivering.
What do you do about this huge backlog for asylum claimants? I mean, it's absolutely enormous. I think it's an average wait of about 372 days. So people hear your plans today, or hear the Home Secretary's plans today, and say, well, it's too little too late. And what happens to the people that are already here?
Well, these things do take time, and that's why we've increased the number of people working on the processing of claims. That's why we've increased the speed at which they're working, 20% increase as well. But more action is required, and the Home Secretary will, of course, set out more details. Migration is a key priority for the Prime Minister, and our work with international partners is absolutely vital in bringing down migration, as we're committed to doing so.
Spoke to you at the end of last week, didn't we, about this 30 hours a week of funded childcare, and as you pointed out, that's being brought in today. How do you know if this is working? Because as we said last week, there's more money available, more hours available for these parents, if you like, but it's very difficult to implement it, particularly in private nurseries who feel that they don't have the staff, the resources or the support to make this work.
Well, from today, we're making life so much easier for parents across our country, for working families. They will save on average £7,500. Hundreds of thousands of parents will benefit. Over 500,000 children will be accessing the scheme from today. We inherited a pledge without a plan, and we've been working extremely closely with early years providers and with councils to deliver this promise to parents that will be such an important contribution to ensure that every child gets the best start in life. We've increased the number of places. We're investing in school-based nurseries across the country, and we've also seen an increase in those working in the sector, up 18,000. So a really good milestone met today, but more reform needed to make sure that every child, wherever they live in the country, they get the best start in life.
Minister, appreciate your time. Just before you go, is Albert a dog or a cat?
He's a Labradoodle, and he's pretty much the size of a donkey, so he's a big dog.
Lovely. Well, give Albert our best, and thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan. Very good. Thanks. I was about to ask the very same
Will you?
thing.
Oh, we think alike, me and you.
Albert, the Labradoodle. Very good. Well, let's speak now to GB News political correspondent Olivia Utley, who joins us now from Westminster. Morning to you, Liv. What did you make of what you were just hearing there?
Well, I think that this is the government attempting to seize control of the asylum narrative. Over the course of the summer, as we've seen protests across the UK, it feels as though the Home Office has been sort of ceding control a little bit here, and Reform and the Conservatives have both tried to take advantage of that. The speech that Yvette Cooper will be giving in the House of Commons this afternoon, first, there'll be a little bit of gloating, I think we can expect. We can expect to hear a bit about that one-in, one-out asylum policy. The first 100 migrants from that policy are going to be deported over the coming weeks. Though, of course, I should just say that since that policy was first announced, thousands more migrants have come over here in small boats. We can also expect to hear Yvette Cooper talking about the National Crime Agency interrupting 347 criminal gangs, which the Home Secretary says has dented the supply of small boats being manufactured in the first place, being used to ship migrants from France to the UK. Again, that should be caveated with the fact that these smuggling gangs are very, very sophisticated and nimble. And what we've seen before is when that supply chain is disrupted, they very, very quickly are able to move over to a different supply train, often in another country altogether. The crux of Yvette Cooper's speech, which the Minister was talking about there, was her plan to shake up the asylum system in general. So one part of that, which we've already heard trailed a little bit over the summer, is to change the asylum appeals process. Now, what she's planning to do is get rid of one layer of the judiciary so that essentially this process becomes much, much simpler. The other part of it is to make it so that refugees whose asylum case is accepted aren't able to bring their family members over without pretty strict checks, similar to people coming over Britons who want to bring their spouses over to the UK. They have to earn £29,000. It'll be fascinating to see both how the speech goes down with the public. Will they agree with Chris Philp that it's just tinkering around the edges? And, of course, how it goes down with human rights lawyers. I think we can expect a lot of appeals, a lot of court cases over the coming months.
OK, Olivia Utley there for us in Westminster. Thank you very much.
Right, let's give you something to smile about this morning with our latest Great British giveaway, and it is our biggest ever prize to date. It's worth more than £104,000.
Yes, you could win a 4-berth motorhome worth over £74,000, plus a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash, which is all yours. Here's Hayley Sparks with all of the details.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000.
You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof lights, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model.
We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For a chance to win the motorhome and cash, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Right, still to come for you, the former royal butler, Grant Harold, will reveal the secrets of his life behind the scenes and up close with the royals. That's next.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
Now, it's 17 minutes past 9, and a revelation about the Queen has been published in a new royal book being serialised in the Times.
Yes, the book is Valentine Lowe's Power and the Palace, and it claims that teenage Camilla was the survivor of an attempted indecent assault.
Well, joining us now, talking about books, is former royal butler Grant Harold. We'll chat about his book in just a sec. But in terms of this, I'm quite intrigued. The Palace has been sort of making it quite clear this morning they don't want any of this talk about the Queen to detract from the incredible work she does with survivors of really some horrific abuse. And yet, actually, I think it shines a very good spotlight on her as a woman who was prepared to stand up and fight for herself.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, she's always been a supporter when it comes to domestic violence and things, and now it kind of makes obviously sense. But she's experienced that as she's now, you know, as she obviously had in a discussion when she was a teenager. But it's quite interesting that she was given the advice as to what I think it said by her father as to what to do if that ever happened. And of course now she, you know, meets other people go through similar things. She gives advice. So this is the great thing with the royal family is sometimes when they're given advice, they've normally experienced those things that they're talking about, which really helps, I think.
Yeah, and it's so important, isn't it, that she shines a light. Inadvertently, it seems to have come from conversations that have been had. But now here we are on national television talking about it. It's just so important, isn't it? I also think it's a testament, as Stephen says, to her character. And you, of course, know her very well because you were the royal butler. This is your new book, isn't it? Which is out now.
Out now.
Number one on Amazon. My Remarkable Life of Royal Service. And in it, there is this wonderful story, including now Queen Camilla, where you ended up in a drinks cupboard. Would you like to share?
I did. Well, the problem was I wasn't kind of given any kind of advice as to what to do. This is basically the second morning I've been around them, and I didn't know what the protocol was. And rather than bump into them, because at the end of this corridor, I dived into what I thought was a room. But it was the drinks cupboard, and I didn't think he would know that it was a drinks cupboard until I heard him say, "What's he doing in the drinks cupboard?"
Oh, no!
And then Queen Camilla then said, well, maybe he's having a little drink, kind of being humorous, and I thought, I need to get out of this situation, and walked out, and there was a door opposite, and then, you know, kind of bowed my head, and they thought it was hysterical that I dived into this cupboard because I didn't know what to do.
You see, what I find intriguing about that is the fact, because there must be times when they are quite sort of strict and firm and sticking to protocols, but it's the human side, and it's always the human side of the royals that we're fascinated by.
Do you know what's nice about, and going back to Queen Camilla, what was nice from my point of view is you get to know them on a personal level, and you also get to see how nice they are. So when people say not such nice things about them, I kind of think, well, you should get to know them, where I was obviously very lucky to have that experience. And she was always very good with me. In fact, one of the stories in the book is wanting to dance with Queen Elizabeth. That was an ambition I had when I was 13 years old. And, you know, I've said to a few friends recently, whether you call it manifestation, whether you call it a dream, that's what I wanted to do. And I actually told Queen Camilla this when I was dancing with her at this Gillies Ball, which is the ball that I watched in this TV documentary when I was 13. And I remember she didn't put me off the idea, but she kind of said, there's a lot of people here, it's highly unlikely it's going to happen tonight, and you should relax and enjoy the evening, because I was quite tense about the fact that I was going to dance with the Queen on this night, because I literally believed that's what was going to happen. And as soon as we finished dancing, the Queen was behind me, and the Queen said, right, shall we do this? And I got that dance.
Oh, wow.
But Queen Camilla was great about it, because she actually kind of took me over with the Queen, and then we formed this little reel, which is, you know, even now I still kind of pinch myself thinking what an amazing opportunity. So the thing is, behind closed doors, they're great fun, and they're great with us. They're great with the teams that look after them.
Do they show you respect in that way? Because one thing that always strikes me is with the armed forces, of course, we know there is huge respect that they hold for all the men and women who serve in the armed forces. And I wonder if it's the same for the people who were working directly for them.
I'll give you a quick example. All the royal family, they never ask you to do something they wouldn't do themselves. But I always remember Prince Harry, interestingly, we were up in Sandringham, there's a place called Wood Farm, and he came down one morning and he was trying to get some kitchen roll, and I remember thinking he'd spilt something, but he hadn't. One of the dogs had decided to do its business inside, but rather than ask myself, one of those, to clean it, he was trying to do it. But they were all the same. None of them would ask you something that they couldn't do themselves, which was which was great. But it was a big shock for me because I assumed as a butler you were there to kind of do everything for them, but that was not the case.
Yeah, that's really lovely to hear, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating read, that. Brilliant stuff.
The Royal Butler, there it is. And you can get it all good bookshops and on Amazon as well. Grant, always good to see you. Thank you very much for coming in to chat to us. Thank you.
I love these little insights into it all.
Yeah, me too.
Should we get an insight into what's happening at 9:30 this morning with Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates? Good morning.
Good morning, you two.
We've got a big interview this morning. We've got Kemi Badenoch coming on, the Tory leader. She's on a visit at her housing estate, and she's going to talk about Labour's, what she says is raid on homeowners. There's a growing feeling that the Chancellor Rachel Reeves will impose capital gains tax for the first time when you flog your house.
Your own home, your
massive.
On your own home?
Your own home. There's something called the Private Residence Relief, and the Tories are going to push a vote on this on Wednesday that this must never be scrapped, because if that's removed, then capital gains can go on your private
But the housing market is so crucial to our economy, and it'd kill the housing market.
Yeah.
And lots of people's houses have risen massively in value just because they've owned them for a long time. Doesn't mean you've got 30 grand cash sat around to pay an extra tax bill. But of course, Conservatives didn't make it easy to buy homes either, did they? So we'll be grilling her on that and much more.
We certainly will. And also, of course, she says, drill, baby, drill. Bit like Donald Trump in the North Sea. So lots to talk to her about.
And some breaking news, a new report out this morning into the ECHR showing why leaving it would not compromise the Northern Ireland Agreement, which of course is what many people have been claiming. So we'll have lots on that.
Big day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big day.
Let's get through.
And let's find some weather.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast on the Met Office. Well, the first day of autumn is set to start on a rather unsettled note, and for some of us actually quite a wet picture as we go out the door this first thing this morning. We've got some heavy rain across parts of Scotland. We do have a warning in force during the first part of the morning. Could be some tricky driving conditions out there, but that will move away, and generally for a lot of us today it is going to be a day of sunshine and scattered showers. Some of these showers will be potentially quite heavy, maybe the odd rumble of thunder too, maybe also some hail mixed into some of the heavier showers. But they'll be brought in on a fairly brisk wind, so they will move through fairly steadily as we go through the course of the day. And in any brighter moments, we will see highs reaching around 20 or 21 degrees. So as we finish off Monday afternoon, we continue that mix of sunshine and showers across much of England and Wales. The showers may be beginning to fade away a little bit across the east. Very similar story for Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland really. Continuation of the showers, most frequent across more western districts of the countries, with again some of these showers still on the heavy side. But I think overall, hopefully, a slightly drier commute for some of us in Scotland compared to the journey to work or school this morning. So into the nighttime period, a lot of eastern areas turn in relatively dry with some clearer skies here, but further west continuing to see some showers, and then later on in the night a band of more persistent rain arrives into the very far southwestern corner. For most of us, maybe temperatures are a little bit lower compared to last night, but I think most towns and cities still staying up into double figures. So for most of us on Tuesday, we do start off with some sunshine, but down towards the west, this rain will continue to spread its way eastward. So overall, quite a wet picture for parts of England and Wales during Tuesday. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the far north of Northern England, we continue that mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And for most of us, temperatures around average for early September, potentially peaking around 20 or 21 degrees.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M77 northbound at Junction 1 is restricted due to a traffic incident. Motorists should expect longer travel times and exercise caution. On the M6 southbound, a broken down vehicle is causing disruptions between Junction 19 and Junction 18, with one lane closed. In Greater London, the M4 spur southbound between Junction 4 and Junction 4A is experiencing congestion with estimated delays of 30 minutes against usual traffic. On the trains, expect disruptions with Great Western Railway between Theale and Newbury and between Ash and Guildford. Northern buses are replacing trains between Corkicle and Whitehaven. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Welcome back. It's 4:48. You're going to love this next story with me, Martin Daubney, here on GB News. Now, it's been reported that Birmingham City Council is removing Union Jacks and English flags across the St George from their streets. Now, they say the unauthorised attachments on lampposts across the city risks the safety of pedestrians and motorists. Well, does it? Let's find out now, because I'm joined by the Conservative Councillor for Frankly Great Park, that is Simon Morrill. Simon, they're saying this is a matter of road safety. One of these flags might spontaneously fall down and blind a motorist and cause an accident.
But it's interesting, Martin, because there's a bit of a backstory to this, because this was going on for quite a while in Northfield. It was only when the flags came to Frankly, when I, as the elected councillor, just put a one-line sentence out saying, I approve this message, that the left-wing media in Birmingham decided to do a story on it, as if to try and say, why is a councillor backing it? One of those media organisations found a WhatsApp group that Labour councillors were members of. One of them was the cabinet member for community safety. And apparently, according to this journal, one member was claiming this to be, I quote, far-right astroturfing. And before my time in politics, before I got into politics, Martin, I used to work in media, and I can spot a good story. That's, in fact, you could say that's part of a job of being a politician, is to call stuff out like that. So I put that on my Facebook page, saying that they were basically calling us racist. You know, you say tomato, I say tomato, far right basically means racist. And it absolutely